The host welcomes tonight's special guest, Wen Li. She's a top-tier actress, hit the absolute peak of fame in the entertainment biz. After being out of the spotlight for a while, she greets her fans with a smile through the TV cameras. The audience is going wild, watching the live broadcast of their favorite star. The host suggests that Mr. Sun must be too busy, since she's here without him. Wen Li playfully yet innocently asks if just she isn't enough for them. After the show, her assistant tells her that her appearance online just broke the internet. On the way out, she runs into her biggest rival, Zheng Shui. Never missing a chance to take a shot, Wen wonders at her talent for always being where she doesn't belong. Zheng thinks she's only so bold because of her award-winning actor husband, even though everyone in the industry knows their marriage is a sham. Instead of focusing on their marriage, Wen Li's telling her to keep an eye on her own husband. But Zheng's not backing down, saying Wen's only scared to join You're Here because of her fake marriage. And since she's denying it, the girl smirks and says they'll be seeing each other there real soon. Though she probably won't be smiling like that if Mr. Song doesn't show up. Boom! Fire, smoke, and a handsome dude in shades walks away from the explosion like a boss. The director yells cut, and the whole crew thanks Mr. Song for another awesome job. They ask him to celebrate the end of the project with them, but the actor turns them down. Slipping his wedding ring on, he wants to get home ASAP, but promises to pay for everyone's dinner. When the director asks where he's rushing off to, Song says he's worried his little wife might run away from him. The women on set are all swooning over their idol's devotion to his wife, who they think he married way too young. Meanwhile, Wen Li's heading to the car too, dodging screams from fans waiting for her You Are Here show appearance. Finally, in the back seat, she can relax, letting out a heavy sigh. Her assistant tells her the internet's blowing up about her and her husband being on the show. But Wen's too wiped out tells her to save it for later. She's kicking herself for that talk with Zheng Shui and has no clue how to explain any of this to Mr. Sun. Bursting through the front door, she kicks off her heels and starts unzipping her dress. Down to just her lingerie, she walks into the living room, totally not expecting to see Sun there. Turning towards her, he gives her the once-over. Wen Li blushes hard, trying to cover herself up. Finally getting a grip, she starts getting on his case, asking why Sun's home so early. The guy just smirks like, looks like my timing's perfect. Wen sees him get up from the chair and tries to bolt to another room. But Sun grabs her arm, and a million thoughts are racing through her head. Next thing she knows, she's wrapped in his arms, all cozy in his coat. To kill the awkward silence, Wen asks if he shouldn't be at the studio right now. He pins her against the wall and asks why she's so surprised to see him back in his own house. Wen's got nothing to say, so he decides to move on to the next question. He's holding the divorce papers, but he doesn't think it's time to end their arrangement just yet. Unlike him, she's not so sure, and she doesn't know where to look with him staring at her like that. Her stomach growling like crazy saves her, 'cause she hasn't eaten in days to look good on the red carpet. Claiming she needed a shower, Wen Li bolts from the room and disappears into the bathroom. While she's showering, Sun's out on the balcony, checking the actress's official page for updates. He quickly scrolls through the comments under her red carpet photo and gives the post a like. Hearing Wen come out of the shower, he gives her a long look, then starts moving closer. She tenses up when he touches her towel, but he just starts carefully drying her hair. She's blushing like crazy, but stands obediently, not moving an inch. Then Sun suggests Wen hold off on the divorce for now, since he heard a rumor she's planning to be on You Are Here. Trying to explain, she says she blurted it out during a heated argument with Zheng Shui. Not wanting to cause Mr. Sun any trouble, she says she can ask her manager to get a PR team to squash the story. But then, out of nowhere, he actually agrees to her being on the show. Turns out their team already got to him, offered a sweet deal, and were so convincing they even tugged at his heartstrings. At first, his agreement gets the heroine all fired up. But then she freaks out, not knowing how they'll manage without a solid plan, especially since they only see each other a few times a year. According to Sun, he's already on board, and the manager will handle the rest, but Wen's still curious why he said yes. Whipping around, the guy replies that anyone would jump at that for the cash. Trying not to look too thrilled, Wen says that divorce filing was just a rough draft. And since Mr. Sun suggests taking things slow, then so be it. Remembering something else, the heroine turns to her fake husband again. The guy turns around, but you can see in his eyes he's totally checked out. Grabbing her waist and pulling her in close, he suddenly kisses her full on the mouth. A little later, things got pretty heated between them, and crumpled on the floor by the bed in the trash was their divorce filing. They might only be married on paper, but the contract didn't say they couldn't get intimate. The next morning, Wenli was kicking herself for losing control. Still, she figured anyone in her shoes would have caved with Sun Yan all over them like that. To take her mind off things, she grabbed her phone and texted her manager that she and her husband would be doing the show. Miss Deng was stoked to hear it, especially since Zheng Xue had already hired a team to spread rumors online that Sun Yan was ditching the show, even though his wife wanted to do it. There were only a few stars like Wen Li, and she kept up a fake friendly act with the other actresses in public. But that didn't include Zheng Xue. Those two didn't even try to hide their dislike and the fact they were slinging mud at each other online. The biggest problem between them was Zheng Xue's husband, Lu Ming. 2 years ago, Wen Li and Lu Ming starred in a hit drama, and their on-screen romance went viral, so they played along with the hype to get the fans all riled up. Just when the PR campaign for the other couple was winding down, Lu Ming and Zheng Xue suddenly dropped the bomb. They're getting married. The internet went wild, and Wen Li got slammed with accusations of trying to steal another woman's man. That's when Song Yan, who was already a famous actor, stepped in and offered her a lifeline. When he and Wen Li announced their wedding, the rumors finally died down. That news broke the internet. Song Yan, despite not being the most talented actor, managed to snag the Best Newcomer award for his debut role, mostly thanks to his good looks. But our girl can't figure out why he's helping her out again now. After the phone call, Song Yan comes back into the room and just stares at her for a second. Then he smiles, and she gets all flustered and starts adjusting her clothes. Meanwhile, Zheng Xue's manager is throwing a fit in the You're Here production office after finding out Wen Li and Song Yan agreed to be on the show. Storming out of the office, Zheng is seeing red and calls her husband to spill the tea. She's saying Wen Li obviously isn't over Lu, since she decided to show up on the same show as him. Zheng Xue is demanding her husband do exactly as she says the second the cameras start rolling. Because if the fans find out it wasn't Wen chasing after him, but he started having feelings for her, Li's gonna be in hot water. After hearing him say he knows that, Zheng hangs up. The girl goes to the window to clear her head, enjoying the view. But it doesn't work, because across the way there's a huge billboard with her rival's picture on it. Zheng Xue can't wrap her head around how Wen Li managed to snag Song Yan right after Lu Ming. The official Here You Are page posted an announcement about the famous couple joining the show, and it quickly blew up with likes and comments. The assistant reminds Wen that the show starts today, and she needs to be careful because even her house is rigged with cameras. Sitting in the car next to the actress, the cameraman asks her to greet the audience, and she flashes a big smile. The assistant hands her the lunchbox, but when Wen opens it, she's bummed to find it's just veggies. The cameraman notices the actress's disappointment and asks if she's sad because she misses Mr. Sun. Starving, Wen gets pissed, asking who even cares about him, but the assistant's light cough reminds her she's on a show. Knowing she needs to smooth things over, she says she never misses her husband. Well, maybe just a little. Since the first episode is about surprises, the cameraman asks what kind of surprise Madam Wen Li would like. Truth is, she doesn't expect Sun Yan to act like a real husband, since they're only married on paper. So, not knowing what else to say, she replies that she's just glad he's still around. An awkward silence fills the car, and Wen Li starts to think that sounded way too weird. But then, seeing the cameraman and assistant's adoring faces, she realizes everyone thought it was super romantic. Before she even gets home, her words are already going viral online, with everyone gushing over them. And just like that, one single line shot Wen Li and Song Yan straight to the top of the show's rankings. The assistant's worried the actress can't handle tomorrow's live stream solo if Mr. Song doesn't show his face. Just the thought of having to carry it all by herself is making our girl seriously uneasy. As the elevator doors open on her floor, the assistant gives Wen one last reminder about the cameras in the apartment. Our girl heads inside, wondering if she can convince Song to snag the earliest flight from Shanghai to make it in time for the stream. But when she opens the door, her husband's right there to greet her. He's standing there with a suitcase telling her he's gotta leave right now, like immediately. Wen Li shoves the suitcase aside, not believing he's actually gonna bail on her and leave her to do the stream alone. Song Yan apologizes, insisting he absolutely has to be at this thing he got invited to at the last minute. She's trying to keep it together, but inside she's absolutely seeing red right now. Arms crossed, she's practically screaming that she doesn't give a damn. Watching her fume on the monitors, the show's producers are starting to think this surprise might actually freak her out. After a beat, Sun Yan says he could totally make it back in time, but only if his wife asks nicely, with a little something extra to sweeten the deal. The heroine freezes, her face turning bright red with embarrassment. And the next thing you know, Wen Li's kicking her husband's suitcase aside, yelling that he can forget about it. The next night, the heroine puts on her makeup and, still in her pajamas, gets ready to do the stream solo. Right on schedule, the actress goes live and, since Mr. Sun's not home tonight, suggests the viewers have some fun. As Wen leans into the phone to read the messages, the fans are blowing up her comments with compliments. On her other phone, she gets a reminder from Miss Deng to thank the fans for their gifts, which she does. This goes on for a while until Wen suddenly goes silent. Some jerk in the audience asks a seriously inappropriate question, making her blush like crazy. Finally, the actress pulls herself together and asks people to stop sending her donations. The manager texts that everything's cool because Wen Li is already trending. Meanwhile, Sun Yan, walking out of the airport, sees a post claiming his relationship with Li is fake. The author's convinced the husband's paying to get her trending, and while she's streaming solo, the gullible fans are buying into this phony relationship. Sun comments that he's hurrying home to get an earful from his wife, puts his phone away and heads for the exit with a smug grin. Back on the live stream, she's showing everyone how she takes off her eye makeup. Realizing how ridiculous she looks just standing there in front of the camera, she puts on some music. Her body just starts moving and she breaks into a dance. She's totally over it, doesn't even care where Sun Yan is or that he's not around. So what if her man's not home? She can have a blast without him. Even flying solo, Wen Li ain't about to let anyone get the best of her. While the actress is lost in her dance, excited comments are flooding the stream. Sun Yan walks into the apartment and looks around, but the place is empty. But then he hears music and Wen's voice coming from the bathroom, belting out the lyrics. He opens the door and freezes, stunned to see his wife dancing her heart out in front of the camera, totally oblivious to him. Leaning against the doorframe, Sun Yan smiles, admiring her, and the viewers who spot him can't hide how much they love this. The streamer asks her fans to hang tight for a sec while she washes the cleanser off her face so she can read their comments. After splashing water on her face and finally opening her eyes, Wen finally notices her husband in the shot and jumps in surprise. Sun Yan standing right behind her, smirking without a word. Even though she shot to the top of the charts again after the broadcast, she's just sprawled on the couch, totally bummed out. Sun suggests she head to bed, but she refuses, saying she's sleeping right here in the living room tonight. When he jokes, asking if it's because she's tired from all that dancing, Wen totally loses it. Sun says there's no point in him being back if she makes a face when he's around, but then throws a fit when he's gone. But Wen insists she wasn't making a face because of him, she just got flustered when he popped up out of nowhere. He doesn't get how she can be awkward around just one person, when she's totally cool performing in front of millions. She thinks about it and asks if that means she's got a double standard. Sun Yan just smiles and nods silently. Calming down and realizing she was wrong, she finally agrees to go sleep in the bedroom. Already in bed, she turns to her husband and asks why he came back if he didn't need to, saying she could have handled things without him. Sun already sees it himself, with all the top search results for the day filled with the amazing Mrs. Wen. She doesn't even try to hide the pride swelling up inside her, but she still wants to know why he came back anyway. The husband asks with a smile, "Didn't you want me to?" After thinking for a moment, she replies, "Yeah, I guess I did." But then, turning away, she adds, "Next time, don't put your work on hold for me, okay? I can manage on my own." Sun Yan sighs but doesn't say anything in response. Wen thinks he's already asleep and turns towards him a little annoyed. But when she turns, she sees him lying there, looking at her with a smile. The woman blushes again under his intense gaze. Turning away and hiding under the covers, she asks why he's so quiet if he's not asleep. Sun Yan admits he was just lost in thought about something. Truth is, he's thinking Wen Li is like a cat, a solitary and proud creature who shows her claws the second you get close. But despite their prickly personalities, the gods blessed these creatures with pretty faces, bright eyes, soft fur, and sweet voices. Without turning around, she asks Sun Yan what he's thinking about. He, in turn, wonders if Wen Li knows why so many people prefer cats, even though dogs are way more attached to people. Taking him literally, she tries to talk him out of getting a cat, saying they shed everywhere. He finds it amusing that she's the one saying that, when her hair is constantly clogging the drain. The next day, Sun Yan heads to the Pure Water Club to meet with some directors he knows. To his right sits director Yu Wei, who directed the movie that launched him to stardom when he was just starting out. Sun Yan sees him as more than just a mentor, he's a real friend too. Sitting across from him is director Guo Dao, who's asking about the actor's schedule for next year. He's got a project based on a book by author Xian Xia. It's a big money deal, and if Sun Yan's interested, he can take a look. The guy next to him doesn't get the big fuss, it's just a regular drama after all. Sun says it's not about a lack of interest, it's just that he's not great at emotional dramas and worries he'll screw it up. Remembering the actor's wife stars in idol dramas, Guo asks if she'd be interested. Sun says if they want his wife, they should contact her manager directly, and don't say it's because of him. Thinking about that conversation on the way home, the actor knows Wen hates bothering people and is used to handling everything herself. And especially, she's never wanted anything to do with him. Letting out a heavy sigh at these thoughts, Sun Yan opens the door and walks into the apartment. But as he reaches the door, Wen Li greets him with a cheerful surprise, dressed in a goofy bunny costume complete with ears and a fluffy tail. The guy freezes, completely stunned, half expecting he's at the wrong apartment. Sun Yan notices some light makeup on her face and then quickly glances at the blinking red light of a security camera. Wen Li brings her husband slippers, but before putting them on, he shakes them out for some reason. One of the camera crew watching this whole thing starts cracking up. Because it's obvious from Mr. Sun's face that he's expecting some kind of trick from his wife, who's never been this nice to him before. After getting her husband settled on the couch, the leading lady starts massaging his shoulders to help him unwind after a long day at work. Leaning close to his ear, she whispers, asking if she's pressing too hard. Sun tells her not to worry about it, planning to just go chill out in the bedroom. Shutting the bedroom door behind him, he thinks about everything that just happened, while the leading lady tells the crew that she's not having any luck. When the crew tells her to flirt, Wen remembers how girls in movies always call the guys they like bro, with an innocent look. The production team suggests the actress watch how other show characters act in these situations, like Zheng Shui. Mentioning her rival fills Wen Li with a desire to win, and all she's worried about is if she'll look foolish if Sun resists again. So, they tell her to tell her husband the cameras are off, so he feels more comfortable. Wen grabs a plate of fruit and heads into Sun Yan's room. As she walks past the camera, she turns it around, pretending to switch it off. She explains that it's late and there's no need to leave the camera running all day and night. Giving him a playful smile, she offers her husband some fruit. Sun Yan thanks her and reaches for the plate, but Wen says she'll feed him herself. Holding out a piece of apple to her husband, she lightly touches his lips with her fingers. Sun Yan's heart starts pounding the second she touches him. She begs him to feed her too, then gushes to the camera, all fake excitement, about how sweet her bro is feeding her. Hearing that, the camera crew cracks up. Sun Yan grabs his head, asking her what the heck she just called him. She's clueless, doesn't get why he's not biting on her little act. If he doesn't like bro, she suggests calling him sweetie instead. After a beat, Sun Yan tells her to say either one of those words again. Wen Li calls the guy bro and sweetie, then cuddles up to his ripped chest. Next thing you know, the fruit plate's flying and Sun's on top of her, pinning her to the bed. Getting real close, he asks her what she was trying to pull when she cut the camera. Even though Wen claims she just wanted some grapes, Song thinks she was after something else. His lips are getting closer to hers, and their hearts are pounding like crazy. Finally, she cracks and blurts out that the camera's still on. Even though the cameras are off now, the crew is freaking out over the footage they just got. Song Yan, face-palming hard, asks her what the heck she's playing at. Wen Li confesses that it was all part of the show's script. She explains how the crew put her up to it, saying Song was just camera shy. The guy sighs, realizing he kinda walked right into that one. Wen tells him not to blame her and he ruffles her hair, saying he wasn't going to. Song Yan slumps to the floor, starts picking up the fallen fruit, and she thinks he's mad at her. She asks him about it, but he just smirks and says he doesn't see any reason to be mad. The girl breathes a sigh of relief. She was worried he was gonna blow up because of what she called him. Remembering the cameras are off, she sprawls on the bed and admits she was gonna call him older brother. But they both graduated ages ago, so it probably would have sounded kinda try-hard. Sun Yan doesn't get what that has to do with age. Even if she was 80 years old, she'd still be his little one. The next day, the trailer for the episode with Wen Li and Sun Yan is trending again. Seeing that, Zheng Shi throws her phone down and reminds her husband that he better listen to her. Meanwhile, a second car pulls up to the studio, and their rivals are inside. Wen admits he's really counting on Sun Yan in today's competition. Even if he doesn't hate those guys, he's gotta help her crush them. Sun's an award-winning actor, and she's banking on his skills. Sun Yan, thinking Wen's still hung up on her ex, asks if she really hasn't gotten over Lu Ming after all this time. And she, who sure as hell hasn't forgotten how they trashed her name, retorts, "Damn right I haven't." Since they're both lost in their own heads and totally misunderstanding each other, Sun Yan turns away, hurt. Noticing this, she asks if it bothers him that she's trying to use him. Sun thinks how can he not be upset when his wife's turning him into a tool? Wen figures if he didn't want to help, he should have said so because he didn't have to do any of this. Honestly, Sun Yan's behavior is starting to seem kinda weird to her. I mean, he knows damn well how much crap she went through because of that whole Lu Ming thing. Remembering it all again, she turns away, lost in her own thoughts. Noticing this and taking a deep breath, Sun Yan replies that he has no objections to doing it. The evening before the studio shoot, the whole crew gets together for dinner at this well-known restaurant. She stares at her assistant, who's chowing down on shrimp like there's no tomorrow. The assistant offers her one and puts a shrimp on her plate. Wen Li's eyes sparkle, thinking about enjoying her favorite treat. But Deng, her manager, who's sitting across from her, stops her, saying she won't be able to stop herself, and she'll have to spend at least 3 hours at the gym tomorrow. Sun Yan, who's sitting with the guys at the next table, keeps glancing over at Wen Li. Later, on the way to the hotel, the slightly tipsy actress puts on a show, complaining to her assistant about how awful she feels. She can buy anything she wants, the most expensive stuff, and even her phone case is a limited edition. But she can't even afford shrimp that costs like $2 a pound. After people online said Wen had gained weight, she barely ate for a month. I mean, it's totally normal to put on a little after New Year's. Walking the actress home, her assistant offers her hangover pills, but she refuses, saying she just needs some sleep. When the elevator doors open, the main character sees Zheng Shui and Lu Ming standing there. Smirking, the girl takes her husband's arm and nudges him towards the elevator. He suggests waiting for the next one, but Zheng doesn't see why they should, since it's not like Wen owns the elevator. A little later, all 4 of them get off on the right floor in tense silence. Suddenly, Zheng Shui turns to Wen Li and asks how she can be so infuriating. Taking a deep breath, the main character replies that if Zheng wants a fight, then bring it on, because she's already ticked off about missing her precious shrimp. But there are so many people out there who hate her, she suggests the girl get in line first. Her and her husband aren't big enough names for Wen to boost her own ratings, plus she's already killing it in the show's voting. The girl's words are getting under Zheng's skin, but Lu Min tries to calm his wife down and pull her away. He can't, though, and she yells that she knows all about his thing with Song Yan, because they're not the first couple doing this in showbiz. What gets her is how Song Yan didn't care about the rumors and agreed to be on this show, which Wen only joined to get close to her husband. According to her, Lu Min was the one blowing up her phone with flirty texts back then, and she would have loved to block him if it wasn't all part of the PR game. Wen Li feels bad that Zheng Shui is so blinded by love that she can't see her husband for who he really is. And Mr. Song Yan, in her opinion, is 100 times better than Lu Min, because he's hotter and makes way more cash. However, Zheng doesn't see what any of that matters if their marriage is just a contract and they're not a real couple. Smirking, she asks who told her that. According to Wen, Song Yan's a man of few words, but he's amazing, and she needs 3 days to recover after spending the night with him. Zheng and her husband stare at her, jaws on the floor, as she asks if Lu Ming's even capable of that. Despite Zheng Shui's burning desire to tear the girl apart, her husband finally manages to drag her away. Wen Li's feeling pretty damn good about herself, having put those 2 busybodies in their place. But then, in a flash of pure terror, she realizes Song Yan's standing right in front of her. Holding a bag, he just stares at her, silent and surprised. Still without a word, Song Yan walks into the room and she follows, trying to figure out how much he overheard. She finally gets the guts to ask him how long he's been back. He puts the bag on the table and answers, short and sweet, that he got here a couple of minutes ago. When she asks if he heard anything, Song just smirks and asks her what exactly he should have heard. All flustered and pissed off, she's explaining that she's talking about the fight she had with Zheng Shui. Song Yan gets this super focused look on his face and pretends to think really hard, dragging it out just to mess with her. Then he walks up, takes her glasses off, and looking right into her eyes, admits he heard everything. Totally thrown by him staring like that, she pushes him away, but slips and loses her balance. Next thing you know, she's sprawled out on the couch with Song Yan looming over her, trying to cover her own butt. Wen Li says that wasn't a very stand-up thing for him to do. I mean, the least he could have done was pretend he didn't hear anything, right? Song Yan gets up and tells her to just consider it a win for her. Then he opens up the takeout bag with the shrimp he brought and asks if she wants some. She happily dives into her favorite treat, the one she didn't get to enjoy at dinner. She spots a note on the restaurant receipt saying it's the least spicy, least greasy thing on the menu, and there's a box of hangover pills in the bag too. Dinner's done, and they head to bed. Getting close to her, Sun Yan asks if she wants to find out what it's like to be out of commission for 3 days. Even though she was practically asleep, she snaps her eyes open. Hiding her face in the pillow, embarrassed, she says he's not that great, and she only said it to get under Zheng Shui's skin. Sun Yan smirks. Maybe not 3, but I can definitely give you 1 day like that. Wen Li tells him to leave her alone. Patting her head, Sun says he was worried she'd be upset seeing them together, but he underestimated her. She finally turns to face him, confused, asking why she would be upset. He figures it's because she's got a thing for Lu Ming. Wen Li doesn't know who's spreading these rumors, but she's definitely having manager Deng send a cease and desist letter from her lawyer to whoever it is. Sun Yan's thinking, 'cause something's just not adding up here. He asks her, so why did he find her crying in the dressing room 2 years ago? Wen Li thinks everyone's got a fragile heart when they're young. Sun Yan figures that means she did have feelings for Lu Ming, and it's okay to admit it now since it's all in the past. Hearing that, she's quick to set him straight, 'cause she never liked that guy. Sun Yan sighs, covers her with the blanket, and tells her to get some sleep, since they gotta be up early tomorrow. He flicks off the light and rolls over. After a moment, she climbs on top of him, and he's totally shocked. Wen Li glares down at him when he asks what she's doing. Leaning over him, staring him right in the eyes, she says she was crying from rage, tears of pure anger. Because that scumbag had a girlfriend, and he still fueled the rumors about her and Wen. She even checked with the manager if Lu Ming was single back then, but it turned out he was secretly seeing Zheng, which led to her getting harassed for a year and a half. If her career had been more solid back then, she wouldn't have listened to her manager's advice. She would have torn that jerk to shreds. Song Yan silently listens to the heroine's emotional outburst, and once she calms down, she asks if he believes her. The man moves closer and says yes. Wen Li leans back a little too far, falls off the edge of the bed, and hits her head on the nightstand. At first, Song Yan freezes, but after making sure she's okay, he starts laughing at her. The man picks her up in his arms and puts her back on the bed. When he asks if she's hurt anywhere, she says she might have a concussion. He checked her head, didn't see any injuries, but noticed her rubbing her butt. He reached out to massage the bruise, but Wen insisted she could do it herself. Putting his arm around her, Song Yan told her not to be shy, since it wasn't the first time he'd touched her. Wen Li begged him not to tell anyone she'd been crying over the comments. When he asked if they were really that savage, she smiled and said she was actually used to it, and besides, she had more fans than haters anyway. Suddenly, Song Yan pulled her close, gave her a tight hug, and said all that was in the past. The next day, another episode of You Are Here was being filmed in the studio and broadcast live. The audience cheered for the couples who were about to compete in several games. First up, the couples played charades, where one partner had to act out words written on slips of paper for the other to guess. Song Yan and Wen Li crushed it, thanks to her acting skills. But then, the actress suddenly freezes in front of the card with the secret words. The host tells her to hurry up because time is running out. Wen Li doesn't know how to act out the next word and asks to skip it, but the audience insists that the actress absolutely can't skip it. The actress gets embarrassed and keeps refusing, and then the audience shouts that she just wanted to grab some refreshments earlier. Sun Yan smiles and guesses the word, flirt. Despite the enthusiastic cheers from the audience, Wen Li asks to stop filming and leaves the stage, calling her husband after her. Meanwhile, the host announces the next segment, which will feature recreations of scenes from movies and TV shows. While Wen Li is getting her hair done in the dressing room, she reads through the script. Noticing a kissing scene in it, the actress asks the director if the kiss has to be for real. The woman says any version will work, but the audience really wants to see a real kiss. While changing, Wen Li can hear the audience going wild for Zheng Shui. And now, a little later, the heroine and Song Yan are on stage, acting out a scene from an old war movie. The guy gently takes the girl's hand, and you can hear the audience sighing with adoration. In just a couple of hours, this shot's gonna be blowing up online with the fans. But right now, the host is asking everyone to focus on the scene they're performing. With sadness in her voice, the girl tells the guy she has to go back to find her parents. But he doesn't want to let her go, 'cause he's sure her mom and dad won't let her come back to him. With tears in her eyes, the heroine replies that she could really use some time alone. Looking her straight in the eye, the guy asks what he did wrong. You could cut the tension in here with a knife. When Lee figures it's time to stir things up a bit. This is reality TV after all, not some highbrow movie set. So, with a dramatic wipe of a fake tear, she announces that he just snores way too loud at night. This bizarre detour from the script totally throws Sun Yan for a loop, and the host is speechless, not knowing how to even react. But the audience? They're loving it. They erupt in a huge wave of laughter. Sun Yan realizes that even if he can hold his own acting-wise, this lady is in a whole different league when it comes to reality TV. Taking a deep breath, the guy asks if he ever mentioned that she grinds her teeth like crazy in her sleep. And even though Wen Lee's forcing a smile, the crowd eats that joke right up too. Everyone's waiting for the kiss scene, and the guy pins the girl against the wall. To the roar of the crowd, he leans in close to Wen Lee and fakes a kiss, like you see in the movies. Their lips don't actually touch, but the audience can't tell, and they go wild in the stands. But when the scene wraps and the host asks Sun Yan if they actually kissed, he says no. The host asks everyone to give the couple a round of applause and announces the start of the final segment, Little Joys of Life. Each contestant brought an item that means a lot to them, and they're bringing out the first one now. The item's covered with a sheet so the guests and audience can guess what it is and see how well they know their idols. The audience is guessing it's a painting, the one they saw at Wen Lee's house. She can't believe her husband dragged her dad's painting here, but he's just as surprised and doubts it's the same one. Suddenly, Jungseok declares that it's a memento for her and her husband, a one-of-a-kind pomegranate painting by the famous artist Guohua Shushimao. She says Lu Ming bought the painting from a collector specifically for their wedding, so she decided to bring it here as something incredibly precious to them. The host laughs, admitting he was thrown off by the audience yelling that the item belonged to their rival couple. Feigning surprise, Jungshui claims that's impossible unless Wen Lee has a replica of the original hanging in her house. She's saying she's cool with switching the item, 'cause she didn't want to hold up the shoot over this little hiccup. The host is all impressed, saying what a generous gesture that is. On the way home from the show, Wen Lee's fuming, convinced Jung did it on purpose. There's no way she missed that painting Dad hung smack dab in the living room. No clue where she got her painting, but our girl's positive hers is the real deal. Meanwhile, the internet's blowing up with comments about how Wen Lee doesn't know squat about art and just buys fakes to show off. The assistant's trying to calm her down, saying the team's already cooking up a PR campaign. She's about to hit up an appraiser ASAP to shut down the rumors about the fake. But then Wen Lee checks the time and realizes it's way too late to call an appraiser, or even her dad. Later, back at home, she gets even more pissed when she sees Jung Shui's post, begging fans not to be too harsh on Wen Lee, saying it's just a minor thing. What really grinds her gears is how chill Song Yan's being about all this, even though they're both in the same boat. After stressing out like crazy and just wanting the day to be over, Wen Lee finally crashes. Waking up the next morning, the first thing she asks Sun Yan is if he checked social media and if the managers did anything. He smiles and suggests she grab some breakfast first, but Wen Lee's totally lost her appetite. So, Sun Yan tells her it's all sorted out. Even though it was too late to verify the account last night, he got in touch with Weibo directly and took care of it. And now Wen Lee's father's paintings are going to be featured on this official page. Wen Lee's stunned as she reads the post, explaining how she and Sun Yan got that painting from the show as a wedding gift 2 years ago. She calls her husband an angel, because thanks to him, all the fans are now accusing Jung Shui of passing off a fake. Sun Yan just smiles, saying he's no angel, just her husband, and tells her to wash up before breakfast. Wen Lee just stares at him in awe, realizing he did the work of a whole PR team overnight, contacting her father, getting the certification and writing a rebuttal. Judging by his sleepy face, Sun Yan was on the phone all night. Realizing she was wrong to give him the cold shoulder, Wen Lee thanks her husband. As a thank you, she's ready to give him anything, saying she's got plenty of cash. Sun Yan smiles and reminds her that he's not exactly hurting for money either. Hoping he won't ask for a kiss, Wen Lee asks what he really wants. But no matter how much she hoped, Sun Yan says that's exactly what he wants. Getting up, she leans across the table, reaching for his lips. But suddenly he turns away, surprised she agreed so fast. He's amused that Wenli suddenly becomes so agreeable. The girl gets pissed and turns to go wash her face. She wonders why she's so upset, realizing she can't always figure out her own feelings. Turning around halfway, she asks the guy if he really doesn't want anything in return for his help. And when Sun Yan says yes, she angrily declares that in that case, fine, whatever. Standing in front of the mirror by the sink, she's still trying to figure out why she's so bummed out. Suddenly, Sun Yan walks into the bathroom, comes up to her, and kisses her on the cheek. He says that even if he did want a gift, he wouldn't ask for something like that. After all, he doesn't need permission to kiss his own wife. A couple days later, she and her director, Zhang, head to a meeting at Gary Entertainment. The director fills Wenli in on the details of the upcoming meeting as they walk. When they get out of the elevator, they see Xu Xinyue, a member of a super popular girl group, in the hallway. Wenli greets her, but she just walks right past, totally ignoring her. Wen's frozen, hands still up, totally stunned by that treatment. Zhang's grumbling that just yesterday the girl was calling her sis, but now she's famous. She's acting like she doesn't even know her. In her opinion, Xu just got lucky and now she's soaking it all up. She turns and heads to the meeting where they're gonna have to deal with this girl. A little later, Director Zhang introduces the girls to Mr. Li Zong from Fengshun Company. She greets the guy, smiling, and says she's looking forward to a great partnership. Lee's gushing about Gary Corp, saying everyone there, from the director to the artists, is unbelievably gorgeous. Suddenly, Xu Xinyue turns to Wen Li, calls her sis, and says hello. She's laying on the sarcasm, saying the girl's voice seems to be working just fine. Well, in that case, Wen figures Xu probably just forgot her contacts, since she didn't see her waving in the hall. The girl apologizes and says she really did forget them, promising to pay more attention next time. Mr. Lee's super impressed with how close you girls are, says he's glad he picked the right people. Director Zhang saying Xu should get her eyes fixed, otherwise she might not even recognize her one day. She's apologizing again, promising she'll never forget her contacts next time, no way. Not wanting to keep Mr. Lee tied up with personal stuff, Zhang suggests they get down to business. Later, after the meeting, the director asks Wen Li to stick around. Looking beat, she asks the actress what she was thinking, getting into it with Xu with Mr. Li right there. Fengshun's really interested in Xinyue, and they don't have enough good talent to just throw it away. Sighing, she asks why the director backed her up then. Zhang says Wen Li's her most valuable cash cow, and she can't just sacrifice that for Xu Xinyue, no way. Suddenly perking up, Zhang begs Wen to talk to her husband and suggest he be their guest this week. It'd be great for the family show they're on, among other things. The heroine suggests the director contact Song Yan's manager directly, but the director doesn't see the point when his wife is sitting right in front of her. Wen Li doubts he'll agree, but Zhang insists she talk to him tonight and give her an answer. That evening, sitting in the car next to Song Yan, she wonders what the difference is between a wife in name only and a complete stranger. Just then, the assistant asks her if she's discussed the director's offer with Mr. Song. Turning to him, Wen asks if he heard her and suggests he check his schedule with his manager. Without looking up from his phone, Song Yan replies that he didn't hear a thing. The heroine gets pissed, wondering what's going on with him, if he couldn't hear her before, but now he can. Song Yan doesn't react to her annoyance and calmly replies that there's nothing going on. This just pisses Wen Li off even more. She reaches out to check his ears, like she's making a point, but he grabs her hand. Once the girl chills out, Song Yan notices she's always using someone else to get him to do stuff. Looking her straight in the eye, he asks, "So, who exactly is my wife then?" The audience goes wild as Season 2 of the hit show, Formed by You, kicks off. A studio assistant knocks on Ms. Wen Li's dressing room door to see if she's ready. Opening the door, the assistant is blown away, telling the actress she totally rocks the idol look and gives her props. To herself, she's thinking how dumb it was not to make Wen Li a main star of the show. The actress thanks the girl for the compliment and snaps a selfie. When she sends the pic to the work chat, the assistant gushes about how gorgeous she is, and the manager suggests finding her an idol role next time, if Wen Li's into it. She wants to send the photo to Song Yan too, but she hesitates. The assistant offers to hold her phone during the shoot, and Wen hands it over. The audience roars its welcome for the show's first-generation contestant and new mentor, Starry Tears superstar, Xu Xinyue. After that, the host asks everyone to be patient and invites the program's mystery guest onto the stage. He hints that it's a protege of Gary Entertainment, whose roles in many dramas have been growing her popularity and winning the hearts of millions of fans every year. After those words, Wen Li walks onto the stage smiling. Since both the mentor and the invited guest are already here, the host suggests enjoying their performances. After a fiery performance, Shu Xinyue hopes she didn't let her trainees down. Then, she suddenly suggests that Wen Li also show off her skills, since all the mentors have performed their routines. The protagonist tenses up, not sure if this is actually part of the show. According to Shu, it wasn't in the script, but since Sis Wen is already here as a guest, she should demonstrate her outstanding talent. This girl's totally playing the crowd, hyping them up like crazy because she knows they're waiting for it. Not getting what's going on, she tries to back out, saying she didn't sign up for this. But Zhu keeps pushing, saying Wen Li can just wing it, bust a few moves to whatever music they throw on. Taking a deep breath, she agrees, not wanting to let the fans down. The music starts, Wen Li starts grooving, and when she finishes, the crowd goes wild. And even though Shu's clapping along with the other judges, you can tell by her face this isn't how she wanted things to go down. From her dressing room, she can hear the producers backstage raving about Wen Li's insane talent. Turns out she's not just a great actress, she's an amazing dancer too. Bumping into Shu Xinyu in the hallway, she gives her props for changing the script on the fly like that. The girl acts like she has no idea what Wen's talking about, saying she just tossed an idea to the director. Turning to the director, she says if they wanted to pull off a stunt like this, they should have given her a heads up instead of pulling this crap. While that dude's busy apologizing, saying he didn't mean to make things hard on Miss Wen, the singer slips away unnoticed. The director said he didn't want to tick off Shu Xinyue, cause she's got connections up the wazoo, so it all makes sense to our girl now. Why grind it out yourself when you can just ride someone else's coattails? Later, when filming picks back up, Wen Li calls the next team of trainees up on stage. When Shu Li walks out, she can't believe her eyes. She's checking out his looks, wondering to herself what he's even doing here. After the shoot, sitting in her car, she checks her phone and gets bummed that Song Yan still hasn't replied. The door swings open and she hears her assistant saying she checked everything out, nobody's around, and Zhu can hop in. Sliding into the passenger seat, the guy asks Wen why she didn't tell him she'd be on the show. Finally losing it, she snatches off his cap and tells the little punk to show some respect to his older sister. Then, gently ruffling his hair, she asks what he's doing here, since he was studying guitar. With a sigh, Shu explains that the studio told him to start here and build a fan base, since you can't make money on music alone. Wen doesn't understand why he didn't come to her, since she has connections. But Shu thinks he's just as good as his sister, who achieved everything she has on her own, although if nothing works out, he'll turn to his brother Bo Sen or Mr. Sun. The heroine is offended that her own brother is going to turn to two outsiders instead of her. Zhu admits that he didn't want to bother his sister, as he heard from their father that she's been under a lot of stress lately. He's about to get out of the car, but Wen grabs his shoulder. Pulling the guy close, she strictly tells him to kill it at the shoot and not even think about bringing her a sister-in-law from the show. Breaking free from her grip, Shu runs off, flipping his sister the bird as a parting gift. Back home, Wen Li takes a bath, standing by the window and looking at the night city, wondering why Sun Yan hasn't returned yet. Finally, at 11 o'clock, she hears the click of the front door. Meeting him at the door, Sun Yan asks Wen why she's still up, and she asks why he's back so late. Afraid of a repeat of the camera thing, the guy first makes sure they're off, then says he went out for drinks with Bo Sen. While Sun changes clothes, she sneakily grabs his phone from the table. She wants to check if he got her message, or if he was just somewhere with bad reception. But when Wen Li unlocks the phone, what she sees is a real gut punch. Just then, Sun Yan notices what she's doing, but he can't stop her. Wen's already getting worked up about him not replying to her message, but then sees he's made her selfie his phone wallpaper. But then she immediately softens, realizing he liked that look of hers so much that he changed his ancient wallpaper. And while she's rambling on, Sun Yan thinks that while Wen is super observant, her ability to analyze things and draw conclusions definitely sucks. Right then, a message pops up and the girl hands him his phone. After reading it, the guy gets lost in thought. The heroine steps closer to see who's messaging him so late. On the screen, she sees a follow request from Shu Xinyue and asks why he hasn't accepted it. Since this girl is her shimei, Song suggests Wen handle it herself. The heroine asks if he's sure because she'll tear Shu a new one. Song Yan smirks and asks since when does she need his permission to choose someone out. Of course, Wen's got a huge score to settle with this girl, but she doesn't know who's backing her. Handing her the phone, Song Yan replies there's nothing to worry about. Shu's support isn't from their circle, she's just Director Guo's new pet project. The guy never imagined Mr. Guo would be so eager to please her that he'd give this girl his personal number. Now Wen Li gets why every conversation Xu Xinyu had with her always circled back to Song Yan. She clearly had her own agenda. Our girl's determined to find out what this chick wants with him. She accepts the friend request, and messages start blowing up her phone, one after another. Apologizing for bothering him and for rambling, Zhu asks why Mr. Song turned down the role Mr. Guo offered him. She writes that she took acting classes for months and really wanted to work with him. Not wanting to put this off any longer, our girl calls Xu Xinyue back. Seeing Song Yan's call pop up, the girl practically jumps for joy. She answers the phone excitedly, looking forward to chatting with him. But hearing Wen Li's familiar voice on the line, her mood instantly sours. Our girl reminds her that even if she's got a sugar daddy now, she's still an artist under Gary Entertainment. Seriously? Zhu thinks she can just walk all over people because she's got no one watching her back. And since she's riding the coattails of someone else, Wen thinks she should at least have the decency to not brag about it. Zhu tells her to watch her mouth if she doesn't have proof, but Xing Yan jumps in, saying his word is proof enough. Gently tucking Wen in with a blanket, he adds that he doesn't even want to be in this movie. But he also doesn't want to directly refuse Mr. Guo, who he owes a favor to, so he'll use this chance to make Xu do it for him instead. The girl apologizes for bothering them and is about to hang up. But Wen stops her because she's got more to say. She hopes Xu realizes how much she's messed with their plans by calling her husband in the middle of the night. With that, the girl hangs up herself and hands the phone to Song Yan. The man says he's gonna hop in the shower while Wen Li gets ready. And since the girl doesn't get what she's supposed to be prepping for, he just smiles and says it's about their nighttime activities. The very next day, thanks to Miss Dan's work, the internet's blowing up with news that Wen Li's performance was totally unrehearsed. The manager says they already talked with director Zhang, and Xu's popularity is skyrocketing way too fast, and she's losing her head. On top of that, Zhu wants to try on this couture dress that Wen picked out for the charity gala next month. Dan's trying to calm her down, saying the brand reps turned her down, and that's why director Zhang even brought it up. Pissed off, Wen tells her assistant to turn the car around now. When the girl asks where they're going, she just smirks and says they're going for a fitting. Admiring herself in the mirror, Wen Li asks the salesperson if Miss Xu tried anything else on after they rejected her for this one. When she finds out the girl tried on 2 other dresses, she tells them to bring those out since she's got a bunch of red carpets to walk this year. While the brand rep goes to grab the outfits, the actress snaps a selfie. The assistant's totally cheering on her boss for snatching back 2 dresses from Xu after she tried to steal her outfit. Xu Xinyu gets a text from Wen Li with a pic of her in the dress, and she's so pissed she smashes her phone to bits. Our girl spends the evening chilling in bed, soaking up all the love in the comments about her surprise performance. Stepping out of her room, she's surprised to find Xing Yan home. Turns out he's been back for 2 hours, just figured Wen was asleep and didn't want to bug her. She asks if he's seen what's trending online, but he's clueless, asking what trends she's talking about. Meanwhile, the camera crew's bummed because they haven't gotten any good footage, since the couple's barely talked all day. And finally, the film crew is about to get the footage they've been waiting for. Song Yan and Wen Li go live together to chat with their fans. While the viewers are hyped to see their idols, she whispers to her husband to make sure he thanks them for the donations. Song Yan gives a shout-out to a fan named How Many Times a Night for the $100 donation. Honey, you gotta stop reading out those viewer names. It's always a setup, trust me. I can't believe how rude these fans are acting, like they're a bunch of kids or something. While Wen Li's getting all worked up, Song Yan's just staring at her like he's totally smitten. Hey, did you guys see that half-minute teaser the show's team dropped? Since neither of them have seen it, the fans are telling them to check it out ASAP. The teaser shows Wen Li just chilling, really digging her own performance. And it shows her husband, meanwhile, watching the same video over and over. Plus, he's liking every single comment that's praising his wife. After watching the promo, Wen Li looks at Song Yan, totally surprised. He sighs and tries to hide his blushing face, all embarrassed. Later, lying in bed, she saw that Sun Yan had reposted a video of her performance, saying she was his one and only wife. She kicked him and reminded him that he'd said he didn't know what was trending. She told him not to play dumb like he'd lost his memory and didn't remember saying that. But Sun Yan insisted he never said that. He'd only asked what trends she was talking about. Plus, he noticed she wanted to show him the video to brag, but for some reason she got shy. With that, Sun Yan turned away, pretending to fall asleep. But she jumped up, hovered over him, grabbed his face, and told him not to change the subject and to say why he watched her video. Sunyan didn't get why he couldn't watch it, but Wen wanted to know why he rewatched it so many times and was so active commenting. He replied that he's her husband, but she didn't want to buy that garbage since it's all just on paper. Wrapping his arms around her waist, Sunyan warned that if she didn't get off him, he'd take this whole thing seriously. Wenli's all playful, asking what he thinks he can do to her. And just like that, Sunyan's on top, tickling her like crazy. Once he stops tickling her, she reminds him how last time he didn't say anything either, just made her photo his phone background. Turning to face him, looking straight into his eyes, Wenli asks Sun if he's got a secret crush on her. The director of You Are Here invites our stars into the studio for a few questions. For the next segment, she wants to know which movie or TV show from each other's filmography made the biggest impression. The director points out they can't name anything they were in together. She's like, "Are you kidding me? They've never even been in the same project." After thinking for a sec, Wenli says Desperate Maniac. According to Sun Yan, he was really blown away by The Emperor's Shattered Jade Vase. Based on their answers to that question, the director's assigning the pair a task. In 2 days, they have to act out the most famous scenes from the movies they named together. The next day, the characters get down to the scripts, and Wenli realizes with horror that she's going to have to play a man. Sun Yan explains that his film just doesn't have enough scenes with both men and women and suggests they start by looking at her Xianxia drama. She asks why he even picked that one out of all the movies she's been in. The guy turns on the TV and says, laughing, that she just made a real impression on him. Sitting on the couch, they watch Wenli's character on screen dramatically saying she's going to die to a monk. Unable to take it anymore, she snatches the remote from Sun Yan and pauses the movie. When she asks what's wrong, he says he can't go through with it. She had to do a lot of mental preparation before filming that scene back then. If she's already done it once, Sun Yan doesn't see what the big deal is doing it again. The heroine's embarrassed to admit that this plot is just too much for her. After reading the script, Sun Yan suggests the girl practice right now. So she doesn't get nervous, he shuts off the cameras. This throws the cameraman for a loop. He doesn't see anything that warrants cutting the recording. And now Wenli is rereading the script she already knows, where a ferret in heat turns into a human. The actress playing the ferret is shaking all over, kneeling in front of Sun Yan as the monk. He coldly tells her to hang in there, but she can't take it anymore. The girl claims she's dying, because if ferrets in heat don't get a mate, things get backed up and they suffocate. Hugging the monk, she pleads with him, saying that saving others is a virtue for him. Sun Yan's hands are shaking as he wraps them around the girl's waist. Wen reminds him that the script calls for him to push her away. He sighs, then admits he doesn't think he's cut out to play a Taoist monk. But Wen thinks he's perfect for the role, because his agonizing restraint seems totally legit. She tells him to keep going, and Sun Yan pulls her in even tighter. He's hugging her so hard, she asks if he's okay. Burying his face in her neck, Sun Yan says he's feeling a little overwhelmed. He pushes her back onto the couch and she asks, surprised, if he always acts like this on set. He says he's never done a scene like this before. She's sure the director will cut the scene when they get to that part. Yan kisses the girl's neck, suggesting they take things further since the director isn't around to stop them. That night, after gently kissing a sleeping Wenli, he thinks he'll never get enough of her. A couple days later, the pair head off to a charity gala. Spotting them right away, Mr. Wang waves them over with a big smile. Shaking Yan's hand, the man compliments his wife. He asks if Wenli would be interested in starring in a project with her husband, but she says she's not ready for the big screen yet. After taking a seat at one of the tables, Mr. Wang invites the couple to join him. Just then, Zheng Xue comes over to greet everyone. Leaning in close to our girl, she whispers that it's pretty bold of Wen to be sitting at this table. The girl doesn't care at all and reminds her who her husband is. Zheng never misses a chance to remind her that without Sun Yan, she's nothing. But Wenli fires back that at least she's got a powerful husband she can count on. Pissed off, Zheng Xue storms away from their table. Meanwhile, on stage, Chi Si Han, the popular girl group member and one of the mentors from Formed by You, is finishing up her performance. The host thanks the singer for that amazing performance. He asks Chi Si Han which of the famous guests here tonight she'd be most excited to work with in the future. The girl admits that there is someone in the room, and it's not a guy like everyone might think. Getting a little flustered, she calls out Madam Wen Li's name. Our girl heard Chi Si Han call her an idol on the show before, and now it turns out she was dead serious. She throws a finger heart at the girl on stage. The host's asking if Chi Shihan's worried about making confessions like that with her husband sitting right there. She says she just admires Ms. Wenli and hopes Mr. Songyan doesn't mind. Last time, Ms. Wen did this killer dance for a boy band on the show, and Chi Shihan wants to dance with her. The host suggests they do a live masterclass in girl group dancing right now, but she says her dress isn't really right for that today, so she promises to learn the dance later and show everyone how it went. Up in the VIP box on the second floor, Xingyi Group's president Wen Yan's watching all this go down. His assistant points out that Mr. Yan and that actress they're talking about on stage share the same last name. He says if she hadn't married Banshi's second son, Song Yan, they could have invited her up to say hello. Wen Yan frowns and tells Mr. Lee to cut the jokes while that girl's still using his family name. Meanwhile, our girl's trying to find info online about the group Chi Shihan sings in. Just then, a message pops up on her phone, and it completely floors her. Snuggling up to her husband and resting her head on his shoulder, Wen Li asks if he'll have her back as her husband if she runs into trouble. When Song Yan asks what's wrong, she shows him the message she just got from her uncle. In it, her uncle tells Wen Li to go see her grandpa instead of wasting time learning to dance. She asks her husband to help her either learn the dance or visit her grandpa, and Song Yan picks the second one. Wen Li asks if he'll take over helping her with the dance. The guy says if she keeps pushing him like that, he won't help her with either thing she's asking. As the gala winds down, she spots Lu Min having a cozy chat with a rising actress who looks so much like her that everyone calls her Little Wen Li. Turning to Song Yan, she suggests they tell their staff to wait outside while they head upstairs alone. Wen Li shoves her husband forward, telling him to go in first so her uncle won't give him grief, even though he doubts it'll work. Halfway there, the girl turns around to hit the restroom first. And now, Sun Yan's sitting in a VIP room across from Mr. Wen Yan. The guy praises him for working hard these past few years. Sun Yan replies that it's all thanks to the director's guidance. Wen Yan smirks, saying it sounds like he really knows how to butter him up. If the director's aware of that, Sun Yan suggests he not take his words too seriously, then asks what he wants to talk to his wife about. But Wen Yan tells him to stay out of their family business. Sun Yan says he's not interested at all, but since Wen Li is his wife, he's got to look out for her. The director chuckles, asking if the kid really thinks he can protect her. Sun Yan reminds him that 2 years ago, unlike her own uncle, he actually managed to do it, and it wasn't even that hard. Wen Yan chuckled again, noticing how much the loser had changed in the last decade. He wondered what the guy could offer the Wen family in exchange for breaking the agreement with the Bai Sen family, just so Li would stay with him. Just then, Song Yan got a message from his wife, asking him to handle her uncle while she tried to shake off some crazy lady. While our girl was washing up, Zheng Xue walked into the restroom. She immediately went on the attack, claiming the girl deliberately stayed late after the banquet because she had a rendezvous with her husband up here on the second floor. Waving her off, our girl suggested they fight some other time because she was wearing an uncomfortable dress today. Suddenly, Zheng Li calmed down and declared that, despite her dislike for Wen Li, she admitted that Wen Li was prettier and more popular than her. According to her, no matter how they competed before, it was all just business. The heroine was so surprised by her words that she asked who had possessed Zheng, but Zheng demanded she be allowed to finish. In her opinion, competing at work is fine, but she shouldn't steal her husband because she and Lu Ming had been secretly seeing each other for years. But after working with Wen for a short time, he lost interest in his wife. She's saying again that back then, it was strictly business between her and Lu Ming. Besides, her manager contacted him and he said he was available, but Zheng just can't buy it. According to Wen, Lu Ming's a real jerk who flirts with other women while he's seeing someone. On top of that, the lowlife always tries to pin the blame on the woman when things go south. Jen wants to know if Lee's innocent, then why she's up on the second floor, but she doesn't see anything weird about it, unless Jue booked all the VIP rooms up here. She doesn't get why Wen keeps denying anything's going on with her husband. Zheng Xue saw Lu Ming come up here with her own eyes, and when she followed him, she found her here. Not wanting to keep going down this road and deciding to end it here, she storms out of the bathroom. Wen Li goes to her uncle, who's got keys to all the VIP rooms on the second floor, and demands he hand them over. Frowning, the guy asks if she even realizes who she's talking to right now. She's reminding him he's her uncle, and right now his niece needs the keys to all the rooms to prove to someone she's not some kind of, Hearing someone dared to call his niece that, Wen Yan's furious and demands to know who said it. She tells him to save all that for later, because right now she needs him to get it together and be decisive. Song Yan, who's been silently watching all this, snorts in disbelief. The girl's uncle, meanwhile, yells that he won't stand for her acting like that, and her husband asks what she plans to do with keys to all the VIP rooms. With firm resolve in her voice, she declares she's going to expose the liar. Turning back to Jung, the girl says she must really care for her husband. Sue's willing to admit she misjudged her, but doesn't get what Wen Li's trying to do and thinks she's sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. Reaching the right room, she signals her to be quiet and puts the key to the door. Voices, a guy and a girl, are drifting out from behind the slightly open door. The woman's asking Lu Ming who he loves more, Zheng Xue or Wen Li. The guy, while she's got her legs wrapped around him, says he loves his wife more, of course. They've been together for over 7 years since school. He likes Wen Li too, even though she turned him down as soon as she found out he was with someone. But that just makes her even more appealing to him. The girl asks if she's just a substitute for Wen, but he tells her not to ask stupid questions and to get back to business. When she asks why they didn't go to a motel, Lu Ming says the press can't get in here. Zheng Xu's eyes are filling with tears. She's shaking all over, covering her mouth with her hands, and Wen Li, holding her shoulder, asks for her phone. The girl hands over the phone, not understanding what she's about to do. Realizing she's recording everything, Zheng tries to grab the phone. If this gets out, Lu Ming is toast. Wen Li tells her to shut up and stop acting like a lovesick idiot. She's helping her gather evidence against a guy they both loathe. Zheng Xu thinks she's clueless, but if Song Yan cheated on her, she'd react exactly the same way. According to her, if he even tried anything, she'd cut him off at the knees right then and there. Not everyone's willing to forgive a scumbag cheater like Zheng is, all in the name of love. Hearing those words, the girl suddenly freezes, lost in thought. The next second, she kicks the door open and barges into the room. But her fire quickly dies down, and now Zheng is kneeling in the middle of the room, bawling her eyes out from the pain. Standing behind the door, the girl listens in disbelief as Lu Ming tries to convince his wife that the other woman came on to him. He claims she's just like Wen Li, who didn't care that he was married and just wanted to have some fun. Even though she wasn't going to get involved at first, those words make her decide to jump into this family drama. Leaning over the couple, the girl declares that she finally understands exactly how he manipulated his wife 2 years ago. Lu Min tries to argue, but all she can say is how sorry she is. Winding up, Wen Li slaps the guy so hard it echoes. Then she says she's really sorry, but today she's here to make sure Lu Min doesn't pull the wool over Zheng's eyes again. Back with her uncle, the girl puts the VIP room key down on his desk. She's about to leave, saying Song Yan's waiting, but Mr. Wen stops her, asking if she took care of the problem. She says she had the high ground, so it was easier than she thought. But without the key, she couldn't have done it, so Li thanks her uncle for the help. The man's surprised that this girl, who's always ready to kill him, is suddenly thanking him. But Li suddenly adds that what happened today was an emergency, so she had to ask him. But he shouldn't take it as family support and use it against her to force her to come home faster. Wen Yan agrees and tells her to keep pursuing her career, but to make sure she visits her grandpa. She says she will, smiles, waves to her uncle, and leaves his room. Going down to the underground parking lot, Wen Li runs into Zheng Xue. The girl says she's already contacted her team, and as soon as everything's set, they're gonna leak the dirt on Lu Ming. Jen warns her to be ready so none of this blows back on her. She figures Wen's probably happy to watch her get what's coming to her. She says that's not it, and even though Zheng earned this with her blind love, if she had to pick between the two of them, she hates Lu Ming more. Tears well up in Xiu's eyes again, and she admits that she really does love him. And even though she doesn't know if she and Song Yan are really married, after those words while recording the evidence, she realized that Wen doesn't actually love her husband. She looks at the girl, surprised, wondering where she got that idea. Zheng asks her, though, what she would do if she caught Sun Yan cheating today. The main character looks at her thoughtfully, and a smile suddenly appears on her face. Later, sitting in the car next to her dozing husband, she thinks about how he's totally different. Jen said that at first she thought Wen didn't love her husband, but sometimes it seems like she adores him. The main character told her to mind her own business, and warned her that if she dared to shift the blame, she'd go down with her low-life boyfriend. Besides, she trusts Sun because he's crazy about her, and there's no room for anyone else in his heart. Leaning over her husband, Wen Li asks him to open his eyes if he's not asleep. Sun Yan opens his eyes, claiming that her intense stare woke him up. Looking annoyed, the girl apologizes, but he ruffles her hair and assures her that it's okay and he's not mad. Then Sonyeon, smirking, asks who it is that loves her so much that there's no room for anyone else in his heart. Wenli's face is turning beet red, and her assistant in the driver's seat is cracking up. Later, back home, sitting on her bed, she's wondering how she can ever be sure her husband won't stray. Handing her a cup, Sunyan asks what she's so lost in thought about. Wen says the very idea of Lu Ming finding a mistress who looks like her just makes her blood boil. But hey, at least she taught that jerk a lesson, opened Zheng Shui's eyes to who he really is, and even stuck up for her own husband. Sunyan must have heard her telling Zheng that he's not like that at all. Grinning, the guy asks if she really trusts him, and what if he did step out on her? Wenli says that since their marriage is just a business deal, even if he did, she wouldn't have any reason to get bent out of shape. Looking down, kinda bummed, Sun Yan tells her to get some sleep since it's after 3 in the morning. But as they lie down to sleep, one persistent thought keeps her wide awake. She literally just told her husband that cheating is okay, and now he might actually do it. The thought eats at her so much that she jumps up and slaps Sun Yan on the cheek, waking him up. Looking annoyed, he asks if she plans on sleeping at all tonight, but Lee says she can't until she tells him something. Even though their marriage is just for show, he can't go looking for someone else until the contract is up. Of course, she's not trying to control him, and she doesn't care if he likes someone. She just thinks that while they're married, they should keep their promises to each other, so things don't get messy when it's time to split. Even though Sun Yan is shocked by what she's saying, he just keeps listening in silence. Meanwhile, she keeps going on about how he's totally free to be with whoever he wants after they get divorced. She's just trying to say that, specifically during this period, he shouldn't do that. Without a word, Sun Yan reaches for Wen Li, pulls her close, and gives her a tight hug. Burying his face in her neck, he asks if her mouth is dry after talking so much. Seriously, couldn't Li have just said she forbids him from cheating on her? Sun Yan smiles, and the main girl doesn't get what's so funny. He hugs her and promises he won't be with anyone else. Suddenly, the main girl starts laughing too, deciding to warn him to avoid breaking their deal. She told Zheng Shui that if Sun Yan ever cheated on her, she'd make him regret it. The next day, the main girl is on the phone, and her angry voice can be heard all the way outside. She calls Zheng a dumb woman who doesn't realize Lu Ming is showing his teeth only because he doesn't know she has proof. Wen advises her to think about the consequences, because if she lets him off easy today, she'll get a knife in the back tomorrow. The whole internet is buzzing with news about the famous couple's divorce, Zheng Shui's slander, and Lu Ming's affair with Wen Li. She's glad she prepped herself and figures this dog's gonna regret it if Shui shows him any mercy. To prove it, Wen posted their DMs on her official page, where Lu Ming's confessing his feelings for her while he's already taken. And Zheng posted a public apology to Wen Li, thanked her, and dropped the photo evidence of her husband's cheating. So Lu Ming didn't just get divorce papers, he got a whole tidal wave of hate aimed right at him. Coming out of the bathroom, Yan hears Wen Li sharing the good news with her manager, Deng. Putting her phone down, she stretches, feeling good that everything's finally worked out. She glances at the camera, thinking that now Lu Ming's cheating's out in the open, they won't be filming the show. Wen Li's actually kinda bummed, cause those two were the whole reason she agreed to do the project in the first place. Now she's wondering if it even makes sense for her and Yan to keep playing this game. Noticing Wen Li's upset, he puts breakfast on the table and asks what's wrong. She says she's bummed about her packed schedule for the rest of the year, and Sun suggests she just cancels the stuff that isn't super important. She tells him that's easier said than done. What she's really thinking is, now that Zheng Shui and Lu Ming are out of the project, there's not much point in her sticking around. But if she does that, she and Sun Yan will lose all their invites to reality shows and talk shows, and their schedules won't line up anymore. They'll both go back to their own jobs, and they won't have to keep up this act in public. And once the public loses interest in them as a couple, the news about their divorce will slip by without a fuss. Suddenly, it hits her that she might not be ready for that. Sun Yan snaps Wen Li out of her thoughts. Turns out, he's been trying to get her attention for a while, but she didn't hear him. He cups her face in his hands, pulls her close, and asks if she's feeling rough because she went to bed too late last night. Pressing his forehead against hers, he says she doesn't seem to have a fever. Flustered, she quickly assures him that she's totally fine. Yan suggests she talk it over with her manager if she can't decide, cause you can't make all the money in the world anyway. Deciding that the money is important to her and they should stick together a little longer, she declares she doesn't mind being tired, so she won't cancel anything. The kettle clicks. and Sun Yan gets up to pour tea, asking on the way if Wen Li isn't pushing herself too hard. She insists she can handle it because she loves making money. To herself, she insists it's all about the cash, and not because she's bummed about parting ways with Sun Yan. She heads to the dance studio where the instructor breaks down the routine. The instructor's confident that Miss Wen can nail playing a cute, lovesick 16-year-old since she's an actress. Taking a breather after the killer rehearsal, Lee fires off a photo and video of her progress to her assistant. Her assistant is so hyped about how adorable she looks, she starts editing right away. The heroine decides to send the video to Sun Yan to see if she managed to capture the charm of a 16-year-old girl. Sun Yan was giving an interview at the time, and they just gave him a 20-minute break. Glancing at his phone, he gets a message from Wen Li, who, having found out where he is, asks him to get away from everyone because she's about to send him something. The dude takes so long typing a reply that he's not interested and is going to turn her down. But the message still comes through, and in it, Sun Yan asks if she's going to send him something spicy. Deciding not to deal with this creep, Wen Li sends the video to her younger brother and asks him if she looks like a cute 16-year-old. Shuli had just finished working out when he got a message from his sister. The guy watches the video and can't help but burst out laughing. In his reply, he begs her not to show it to Sun Yan, saying that one victim, himself, is more than enough. The next few minutes are spent with the brother and sister trading barbs back and forth. It only ends when instructor Shu Li walks in and tells him to put the phone away. Meanwhile, the heroine's thinking she probably shouldn't send the video to Sun after all. The guy walks up to Shu Li and asks whose video he was just watching. After learning it was Wen Li, the instructor asks if the dude's a fan of hers. He thinks Shu wants to get down and dirty with one of the show's instructors, but the very thought makes him want to hurl. Later, Sun Yan gets a message from his wife's brother saying he saved his eyes from Li's cringe attempt to act all cute and innocent, taking the hit himself and becoming the sole victim. Turning to the heroine, he whispers, "What video are we talking about?" The girl remembers her brother saying that when Sun Yan was teaching him guitar, he realized they had the same sense of what's beautiful. And if you go back to their school days, that was actually true, because once when she asked Sun if he thought she was pretty, he coldly said she was average. That's why Wen Li's glad she didn't show him the video. So, 10 years back, she got all dolled up and headed to her little brother's room. But when Li asked if she looked good, he just shrugged and said, "Not really." Heartbroken, she turned to Sun Yan and asked him the same thing. At first, his eyes lit up, but then he got all flustered, looked away, and said she was okay. Furious, Wen Li stormed out of the room as her brother burst out laughing. She didn't see the love-struck, kinda sad look Sun Yan gave her as she left. Chi Si-han posted a pic with Yan Zhong on her official page. The film crew wanted them to play a couple. She's scrolling through the comments on the post and notices a lot of them are about her. People are joking that Chi Si-han's trying to steal Sun Yan's wife. Stepping out of the shower, the guy asks Wen Li what she's up to. Hearing that Chi Si-han officially announced her participation in the You Are Here show, he grabs his phone to check the post. But she tells him to ignore it, or the internet's gonna go wild. She asks Song Yan if he watches those idol boy band talent shows. He's really not into them, but he'd watch if Madam Wen wanted to. She tells him, a little sharply, to stick to his guns. Backstage at Formed by You, Wen Li's assistant is gushing over her look. She suggests the actress take a photo to post online. Even though the assistant insists Li looks super cute, she refuses to post it, afraid of the backlash. It already took a ton of convincing to get the director to cut her clip from the final edit. Xu Shenyu walks into the dressing room to ask if Wen Li's ready to go on, and if Song Yan will be on set. She still remembers that girl calling her husband in the middle of the night and wants to know if she needs anything from him. But Zhu claims she's not involved. The mentors just think it would be great if Song attended his wife's performance of a love song. Wen Li really doesn't get why Song Yan needs to be present for her public humiliation. With a totally innocent look, Shu replies that even with Mr. Song's busy schedule, it wouldn't be right for him to miss his wife's performance. After hearing this, she impatiently asks if he was actually invited, but Jinyue says it doesn't seem like it. Wen Li already got freaked out, so she tells the girl to be clearer and more concise next time. Sue expected a different reaction, and doesn't understand why she looks happier now that she knows her husband won't be there to support her. And now, a little later, she's standing on stage, and the hall falls silent, waiting for her dance. She calms herself down in her head, repeating that it's all for the money, and she just needs to get through the performance. Song Yan enters the auditorium and blends into the crowd, hiding his face with a cap. Music starts, Wen Li starts dancing, and he can't take his eyes off her performance. Everything's going great until she spots Sun Yan's gaze in the sea of faces. On the way to the concert hall, the interviewer asked Mr. Sun how he felt about the surprise the crew had planned. The man replied that he was feeling pleasantly excited. The interviewer asked if he was worried about his wife being on a male idol talent show, surrounded by young and energetic guys. Sun Yan smiled, because other than the age thing, he's got way more going for him than those kids. Then the guy wondered if he'd ever wanted to be an idol himself, but he said no way. The interviewer told him not to be so quick to dismiss it, and to take a page from his wife's book since these dances aren't really her thing either, but she's still doing it. Gazing thoughtfully into the distance, the man replied that he didn't think it was out of character for Wen Li. Back when he was a high school student, Sun Yan was walking down the hallway. Out of nowhere, Wen Li jumped out from around the corner, pretending to be a wild kitten. Under his intense, stunned gaze, she froze, totally embarrassed. She confessed she'd mistaken him for Bo Sen, since he was the same height and wearing the same uniform. Sun Yan laughed and said that she couldn't possibly scare anyone, but Bo Sen with a cat-like growl like that. Annoyed by his arrogance, she got mad, spun around, and stormed off. Later, Sun Yan saw Bo Sen yelling at Wen Li because she'd tried to scare him again. After that, he gave her a playful bonk on the head. Snapping Sun Yan back to reality from his school memories is the interviewer's voice, worried they'll miss the show because of traffic. When they finally get out of the car, the show's already started. And there's Sun Yan, standing in the hall among 1,000 other viewers, watching Wen Li with admiration. Their eyes lock and she instantly blushes, freezing in place. His heart pounds in his chest. He can't calm down, convinced this love song is meant for him. Meanwhile, on stage, Wen Li drops to her knees and covers her face. Then Xu Xinyue asks the audience to welcome Song Yan, and the place erupts in applause. The host invites him to come up on stage and help his wife. She says Wen Li looks completely wiped out from the dance. Song Yan walks onto the stage and offers his hand to the stunned woman. But Li unexpectedly gets up on her own, takes a step back from him, and he asks why she's avoiding him. While Wen Li's trying to figure out what to say, the audience is going wild, loving how flustered she is. Later, when Song Yan gets home, the assistant director calls, raving about the sensation his appearance on the show caused. Hanging up, the guy heads to the bathroom, splashes cold water on his face, and stares at himself for a minute, replaying everything. Xu Xinyu asked Song Yan what he thought of Ms. Wen Li's performance. He said the song was beautiful, and the dance was cute and lively. Xinyu thanked him for the flattering review of her group's song, but Song Yan added that the dancer was even cuter than the song itself. He sounded proud of his wife, but for some reason, Wen Li seemed even more embarrassed and looked bummed out. After washing up, Song Yan calms down, thinking about how much he doesn't want her to see him lose it. Meanwhile, Wen Li's at a press conference about her performance on the talent show. They ask her if she was pleasantly surprised by her husband's unexpected appearance on the show. She sighs because she wouldn't exactly call his constant shenanigans a pleasant surprise, especially when it's all for show. She says she still cringes just thinking about that dance, and she'll never dance like that again, even if someone begs her on their hands and knees. And even though reporters keep saying her husband called the performance cute, Wen Li insists he's an actor and can fake anything, all while secretly laughing his head off at her. Back home, she stands in front of the door for a while, hesitating to go in and face Song Yan. Finally reminding herself that she lives here and has nothing to be afraid of, Li goes into the apartment. She dashes through the room, heading straight for the balcony and throws the door wide open. But she suddenly stops dead in her tracks, seeing Song Yan already standing there. She instinctively slams the door shut again, but he knocks and asks to talk. Wen Li replies that she has nothing to say to him, since he was in cahoots with the crew and humiliated her. And since she's so generous that she's not going to get even, she tells him to just get out of her sight. Taking a deep breath and letting it out hard, Song Yan replies that he will. The guy immediately turns away and silently walks away from the balcony. Hearing the door open behind him, he smiles and spins around. Before Wen Li can even react, he's right in front of her, holding her hands, and there's no glass between them anymore. Sun Yan leans over the girl, who's totally confused, and she asks if he's gonna throw her off the balcony. The guy starts laughing, which pisses Li off even more because she doesn't get what's so funny. Pulling her close, he tells her he's laughing at how silly she's being, and then he kisses her. Shaking, Wen Li grabs onto Sun Yan's shirt and snuggles close to his strong chest. Meanwhile, back at the studio, the director is losing his mind because nobody thought to set up cameras on the balcony. At that exact moment, the heroine remembers that the cameras inside the apartment are still recording. As she heads back inside, she wonders why it's so hot all of a sudden, since it's not even summer yet. Meanwhile, the crew's buzzing about what went down on the balcony, wondering if the couple had a fight. The director's sure it wasn't a real argument. When Lee's a TV show regular, she'll do anything for the shot, so she probably wasn't that ticked off by his surprise visit. Still, he's got a bad feeling they just missed something huge. The rest of the night, she's holed up in the bedroom, totally mortified. Suddenly, the doorbell rings and she heads out to see who it is. Turns out, it's one of the camera guys, here to set up a camera on the balcony. They lock eyes, Sun-Yan smiles, and Wen Lee blushes again, hiding behind her hood. When the cameraman's done, they send him off with smiles like nothing even happened. Wen Lee turns to head back to the bedroom, and Sun-Yan keeps packing his suitcase in silence. But before long, she's back, insisting that Mr. Sun owes her an apology. The guy stares at her, totally confused, like, what's he even supposed to apologize for? Lee asks if he realizes the fallout if there'd been a camera on the balcony, catching his shenanigans on the show. Sun-Yan smirks, repeating, "What kind of fallout?" And she starts mumbling something about what he was pulling with her in broad daylight. He can't help it, he just bursts out laughing again. He gets up, leans over Wen Lee, and asks how it would personally affect her. She's stumped because, when she really thinks about it, it wouldn't affect her at all. Sun-Yan asks if she demanded apologies from every actor she's worked with. Wen Lee thinks that's not the same because that was acting, but this was him just taking advantage. In that case, Sun-Yan says he's sorry for how he acted earlier. Since she wasn't expecting it to be that easy, she's thrown for a loop at first, then says she forgives him. She's heading for the shower, but Sun-Yan grabs her arm and stops her. He sits Wen Lee down on the couch, asking her to wait while he finishes apologizing. She doesn't see the point since he already said he was sorry, but Sun-Yan says he has a lot more to apologize for than just today. For every time he touched her, for kissing her on the show, and for that time they first got super wasted. She claps her hands over Sun-Yan's mouth, cutting him off. 2 years ago, they got back from a party where there wasn't a single soft drink. When they drunkenly collapsed on the bed, Wen Lee snuggled up to Sun-Yan and started falling asleep on his shoulder. He woke her up, and they stared into each other's eyes for a while, and then he leaned in, pulled her close, kissed her softly on the lips, and things got a little heated, if you catch my drift. She's screaming that she doesn't want his apologies anymore and demands he shut up. That night was a blur of booze and, well, the newlyweds were going at it. Waking up the next morning, Sun-Yan was ready to talk to Wen Lee about what happened. But she didn't let him get a word in, saying she was a willing participant, and besides, their contract didn't specifically forbid them from getting intimate. She said she understands they're adults and everyone has needs. Reassured that she was less hung up about it than he was, Sun-Yan whispered that Lee could come to him anytime she needed anything. The director's telling his assistant to let Mr. Sun-Yan and Ms. Wen Lee know they'll be shooting in Rongcheng. The guy's hoping he can finally capture something truly worthwhile this time. She's standing in front of the closet, trying to pick out clothes for their trip. She thinks Sun-Yan looks good in light colors, but then again, dark colors suit him too. Sneaking up behind Wen Lee, the guy asks her what she'd recommend then. She points out a few things and he pulls them off the rack. This whole thing's giving her the vibe of a wife packing her husband for a business trip. Sun-Yan starts to leave, but Wen Lee stops him, telling him not to turn in yet. She wants Sun-Yan to help her pick out clothes too. After that, she tries on outfit after outfit, showing them off to him. Sun-Yan suggests just taking them all, since she looks great in every single one. She gets a little huffy, tells him to go to bed because she asked for his opinion, but it seems like he's just trying to get rid of her. Lee's about to go change again, but Sun-Yan stops her and suggests she just do it right there, so she doesn't have to keep running back and forth. Even though she doesn't see how she can change in front of him, he doesn't think it's a big deal. Flustered, Wen Lee asks what he's planning, but Song-Yan replies he doesn't even know himself. She tells him to quit lying or his nose will grow. Nipping her finger, Song-Yan says his nose will be fine, which he can't say about another part of his body. An hour later, lying in bed, Wen Lee asks her husband to be serious and tell her which outfit looked best on her. Song-Yan says he was totally serious when he said they all looked great on her. But since Lee's making him pick just one, he suggests the dress she wore at yesterday's shoot. Surprised he likes the schoolgirl outfit, she calls all men perverts. But it never even crossed Songyan's mind that liking that style was a turn-on. Lee says her makeup artist said she looked 16 in it, and if he's into minors, what does that make him? The guy smiles and says that maybe he really is a bit twisted then. When Lee asked if she looked too old for the outfit, he said no way. That made her super happy, cause it meant she killed it at the performance and she's gonna do it again. The girl jumps out of bed, offering to show Sunyan another dance from one of the many styles she knows. Like she could bust out some breakdancing and asks if he's into that kind of thing. Pulling her close, Sunyan says with a sly grin that he's more into, private dances. Blushing like crazy, she calls him a pervert again. The next day, the couple heads to Rongcheng for a shoot. When the interviewer asks what made Madame Wen so happy, she says she's watching the trailer for Formed by You, all while trying to act like she totally doesn't love seeing herself dance. The interviewer asks Mr. Sun for his opinion on his wife's performance. The guy's admitting he's a little hurt because when he asked Lee to dance for him again, she turned him down. She's pissed, reminding him exactly what kind of dance he was asking for. But then, remembering they're filming, she cuts herself off and bites her tongue hard. Catching the camera guys giving her weird looks, Wen Lee says he's asking her to dance some street jazz. Watching the scene back, the director's like, "Seriously? Does anyone buy that?" He decides to keep the clip right up to where Lee cuts herself off so the audience can fill in the blanks. The idea is to get viewers guessing, keep them on the hook. Back at the hotel, she's sprawled on the couch, watching the scene where she's hiding from her husband on the balcony. And then Lee notices they even put in the trailer the part where Songyan implies that kind of performance. Finding out the director decided to keep the mystery alive and cut off her answer, she's furious and throws her phone. Later, on the way to the studio, Wen Lee's assistant tells her she's trending again, topping the charts for views and buzz. She throws her hands up, wondering if she'll ever trend for a normal reason. When they pull up to the studio, they're met by a huge crowd of fans. Wen Lee overhears some of them asking Songyan what kind of dance he asked her to do for him. She feels awkward and whispers to her husband to get them out of here quick. He looks at her, smiles, and takes her hand firmly. Then, pulling Wen Lee close, he tells everyone asking that it's a little something between him and his wife. After they change and head to the set, they get the rules for today's game, discovering the beauty of Rongcheng. Each celebrity couple has to split up. They'll use walkie-talkies to stay in contact, describing what they see around them. To find their partner and move on, they'll need to use every ounce of their brains and teamwork. Finally, the test begins, and Sunyan is allowed to take off his blindfold. He looks around and sees nothing but empty streets, but just then Wen Lee contacts him. Once they're connected, she starts describing the place he needs to guess. She's standing next to a candy vendor's stall, and there are a few rice noodle stands nearby. Sun Yen hears that there are a lot of people around Wen Lee, many of whom recognize the famous actress. The vendor offers to write her name so he can make her a custom candy. Wen Lee hands the old man a slip of paper with Sun Yan's name and says that he's her husband. The vendor is surprised that she got married so young, especially being a star. The heroine thanked the old man and is now enjoying the taste of salted caramel. Suddenly, she spots a huge billboard with Sun Yan's picture on it. Realizing it's a mall, Wen Lee heads inside and calls her husband to let him know where she is. She tells Sun Yan to hurry up, threatening to eat the lollipop she bought for him. He tells her not to, saying the lollipop, like her, belongs to him. Finally reaching the mall, Sun Yan finds out Wen Lee's on the 4th floor. With so many people around, he can't figure out how she's managed to stay under the radar. He figures they cleared the mall for filming, but Lee says she has her ways. She remembers Sun doesn't have much experience with these kinds of shows, so she tells him to wait for her downstairs. But Wen's warning came too late, and the actor, thinking the place was empty, is already swarmed by fans. Sun Yan's starting to sweat because he can't break through the crowd. But then, out of nowhere, he hears Wen Lee's voice behind him, yelling that she's almost there. Turning around, Sun Yan sees a giant plush fox barreling towards him, plowing through the crowd. Grabbing his hand, she yanks the shocked guy out of the mob and drags him away. Once they're down in the deserted parking lot, the fox tries to catch its breath. Then Wen Lee takes off the mask and flashes her husband a huge smile. Half an hour earlier, when she got to the mall, she spotted the fox mascot walking out. Seeing the girl was about to go inside, the director told the cameraman to stop her. They hadn't cleared any of this with mall management, so things could have gone south real fast. But when the cameraman caught up to Wen Lee, he saw her trade an autograph and a photo for the fox suit. He immediately told the director, who chilled out, realizing no one would recognize the actress in the costume. Plus, the production team figured it'd add some entertainment value to the show. While waiting for Sun Yan, our girl in the fox costume was strolling through the mall, checking out her own ad. Grumbling that if her skin actually looked that good in real life, she wouldn't have to drop so much cash on spas, the fox snapped a pic next to her own banner. After giving her husband's ad a good look, she straight up said her poster looked way better. When Sun Yan finally showed up at the mall, she suddenly realized he was totally clueless about how to handle situations like this. Seeing the crowd swarm him from the fourth-floor balcony, she bolted downstairs like a shot. And now Wen Li's standing right in front of him, having taken off the giant mask, admitting it was her all along. Sun Yan gently tucks her hair behind her ear, and she laughs, asking him to wipe the sweat off her face while he's at it. Wiping her down, the guy asks how she dared wear that thing in this heat, worried she might get heat stroke. You can barely see anything through that costume, and it's hard to move in, but Wen Li still rushed into the crowd after him, even though she could have gotten hurt. Sun Yan's like, "Is this show more important than your health?" But she says she's totally fine. The dude's freaked out, thinking she could have been crushed by the crowd, and he's shaking her shoulders. She sadly hangs her head and says she did it to save him. Sun Yan sighs and tells her he's sorry. Li gets flustered and admits it's her fault for not giving him a heads up, since he's never been to a show like that before. Sun Yan feels bad that the show and Wen Li herself got messed up because of him, and he can't even imagine what would have happened if she'd gotten hurt. Wiping the sweat off her face again, the guy admits he was seriously scared for her. Trying to lighten the mood, Wen Li says nothing could have happened to her in that costume, even if she'd fallen. Grinning, she suggests that instead of all this, he should just thank her for saving him from the mob. Sun Yan hugs the girl, thanking his heroic little fox. Later, the couple apologizes to the mall manager for the trouble, but he insists it's unnecessary since the film crew warned him about everything in advance. And since Mrs. Wen seems to like the masquerade costume, he gives her and her husband a couple as souvenirs. And now the heroes, loaded down with heavy fox costumes, hurry to complete their second task. They need to grab some transportation ASAP to get to dinner. The choice of transport depends on the lottery ball they randomly draw. Wen Li asks her husband to handle it, since she's never won anything in her life. While Sun Yan picks a ball, she prays they'll get lucky. But luck doesn't seem to be on either of their sides, so they'll have to get to their destination on a three-wheeled bicycle with a trailer. The girl is filled with dread at the thought of any part of this trip, whether she's driving or in the trailer. But when Wen Li sees the assistant trying to cram those fox costumes into the car, an idea pops into her head. And just a few minutes later, crowds of people are cracking up as they watch a pair of foxes riding down the street on a tricycle with a trailer. It looks so cute and hilarious that even the cameraman can't help but laugh. She reassures Sun Yan, saying that no one will recognize them like this. The guy tells her to sit tight in the cart because there's a cop up ahead and she's not wearing a seatbelt. Just then, the cop is filming for Tang Talk's traffic, and the Fox Mobile ends up right in the shot. Spotting the traffic violation, Mr. Tang takes off after them to pull them over and give them the rundown. Realizing they're in a bit of a pickle again, Wen Li grabs her husband's hand. The camera crew following behind decides to get in touch with the director to confirm if this is part of the script. The cop tells the foxes not to worry, saying he's a friendly officer, Officer Tang. He asks with a smile if they've had lunch yet, and Wen says they're just heading there. Judging by their matching outfits, Officer Tang figures they're a married couple, and they confirm it. The cop wants to know why, if that's the case, Mr. Fox is letting his dear wife ride without a seatbelt, since it's dangerous. Wen Li jumps to defend her husband, saying she climbed into the carriage herself, and Tang admires her spirit, calling it true love. Still, Mr. Fox is wearing a mask that blocks his vision, and sitting in the back of a moving vehicle like that is a no-no. Officer Tang asks if the offenders realize they messed up. And since admitting mistakes is really commendable, he asks the little foxes to take off their masks and show the viewers their real faces. Not wanting to cause a scene again, the couple refuses, claiming they're super ugly and embarrassed to show themselves to people. The officer keeps pushing, saying that everyone who follows the rules of the road is beautiful. Finally, one of the camera guys decides to step in. He pulls Tan aside and explains that they're filming a show, and the crew, unfortunately, didn't realize that riding around town in a three-wheeled bike with a trailer is a no-go. Then the cameraman says the stars can take off their masks, since everyone will find out about it when both shows air anyway. Never in her entire career has Wen Li felt so mortified. And while Song Yan's talking to the officer, she figures he must be even more uncomfortable, since this is probably his first time dealing with something like this. Meanwhile, the cop's chuckling, remembering how the couple said they were hideous. And when Wenli declares that the most beautiful people are the public safety officers, he starts laughing even harder. As he wraps up, Officer Tang advises Song Yan to never put his lovely wife in that kind of danger again. On the way back, the assistant tells Wenli to look on the bright side. Their popularity in Rongcheng is about to skyrocket. The heroine thinks there's no way she's ever coming back to this town after this. They barely even make it back to the hotel before they realize the incident is already blowing up online. I mean, it's not exactly shocking, considering how many people were around. Anyone could have leaked info or pics. Some dude on their fan forum posted that they got busted by the cops, and even dropped a photo as proof. People started ragging on them, saying these celebs don't even know the basic rules of the road. Wenli, realizing how this could trash their image, immediately calls her manager Deng and tells her to fix it. A little later, the official You Are Here show page posted an apology to the traffic police, and Officer Tang told everyone to tune in to tonight's show. The assistant tells Wenli that Miss Deng did an amazing job with the PR and suggests she just chill and get ready for the live stream. Even though she's in a bad mood, our girl goes live with a smile and promises that Song Yan will join her later. But all the viewers are demanding she play the Tang Talks traffic episode right now. Wenli almost choked on her water when she saw the episode title, The Adventures of the Foxy Couple. She was kinda expecting something like this, but it's still super awkward. Sun Yan's just getting off the phone and heads over to his wife, wondering what's up. Thinking she's coughing cause she's cold, he's about to grab Lee a blanket. But she stops him and asks him to stay put. Wenli absolutely doesn't want to die of embarrassment alone. She wants Sun Yan right there with her. After watching the video, the actress asks the viewers if they're happy now. The fans are telling her to pack her bags after this disaster, but she's not even considering it. Mr. Sun, according to her, isn't going anywhere either, even though his image took a hit today. Grinning, the guy asks whose fault that was anyway. Looking embarrassed, she admits that the costume idea was all her. Then again, if he hadn't picked that dumb three-wheeled cart as their ride, none of this would have happened. Sun Yan asks, all confused, if she'd rather ride around in a shopping cart. Off-screen, the assistant's practically begging them to stop with the spoilers, since You Are Here hasn't even aired yet. Wenli promises the audience they'll see it all soon enough, but it takes two to tango, so they're both to blame. According to her, everyone will soon get to watch Mr. Sun eat dirt. Pinching her cheek, Sun Yan playfully asks if he's the only one looking foolish. The viewers are loving this cute moment so much, they're demanding they just kiss already. The comments are making her blush, which just entertains the fans even more. Meanwhile, the assistant discovers they've become headline news again, and for free. After the show, while Sun Yan's going over tomorrow's schedule with a crew member, Wenli's chilling and texting Chi Si-han. The girl tries to cheer her up, saying the footage of her and Yan Zhong pushing the shopping cart around was super cringe too. Okay, so the crew knows Ms. Wen's gonna have a tough time confessing her feelings on the football field, given her personality, but these two gotta remember they're on a freaking romance show. They need to step it up and give the fans what they want, especially since they're getting shafted compared to other couples. Sun Yan thinks it over and admits, yeah, that's gonna be a real challenge. Before leaving, he promises the crew he'll definitely take everyone's requests into consideration and live up to expectations. Plopping down on the couch, Sun Yan explains to Lee, who missed everything, that the producer thought the confession scene wasn't good enough and went to brainstorm with the director. The clueless girl asks what the previous plan even was. According to Sun Yan, tomorrow they're hitting up the tech university. Apparently there's this super romantic ginkgo tree path there where people always confess their love. But the crew knows Wen's allergic to all that mushy stuff, so they're thinking of changing the script to something more entertaining. She tells them not to make her out to be some stuck-up diva. Her whole career in dramas was built on scenes like that. It's no big deal for her. Sun Yan suggests, in that case, why don't they try doing one of those confessions right now? Funny thing is, this actress who can usually nail any role on stage can't even get a word out right now. Sun Yan sighs, giving up on getting a confession from her. Then he pats her on the head to comfort her, telling her not to force it if it's too hard. He's about to head to the bathroom when Wen Li suddenly stops him, grabbing his pajama top. Pulling Sun Yan close, she whispers in his ear that she's got a thing for him. Looking Wen Li in the eye, the guy asks her to clarify exactly who she's got a thing for. The girl repeats that she likes Sun Yan, blushing like crazy. Turning away, the guy tells her not to forget they've got that shoot at the university tomorrow. The girl's face instantly changes, and she repeats the confession like a college student talking to a senior. Sunyan doesn't react for so long that the girl starts to think she's blowing the scene. With a heavy sigh, the guy just blurts out that this isn't right. Lee says she was just trying to flesh out their characters as a couple, but if he thinks it's unfair, she's willing to take a hit with the fans tomorrow. Yan freezes up, slowly realizing that all of this was just about the job. Arms crossed, she's fuming, totally clueless about what he was even thinking. Grumbling that this kind of confession stuff just isn't for her, she heads to the shower. Left alone, Yan slumps back on the couch, wishing she actually liked him for real. Later in bed, Lee decides to rewatch some of the confession scenes she's done before. But no matter how hard she looks, she can't find any romantic scenes with Yan. It hits her that she finally gets why he said it was unfair. Leaning over him, she whispers that it's probably just because he's a total newbie at this. Turns out Sun Yan wasn't asleep yet, but he didn't catch what she said, so he turned around to ask her what she was talking about. Touching her hair, he notices it's still damp. So when Lee doesn't wake up with a pounding headache tomorrow, he gets up and starts drying her hair himself. Sun Yan asks what she meant by saying he lacked experience. She explains she read in his fans' comments that he's never really done romantic confession scenes before. Then she goes on to show him just how good she is at those kinds of roles. Sun Yan watches one of those scenes, frowning, and then suddenly shuts off the video. Pulling her close, he tosses the phone onto the bed, not wanting to watch any more of it. Then Sun Yan gently pushes Lee down onto the bed too, and hovering over her, asks if she's trying to get a rise out of him. She doesn't get it. Is his ego really so bruised that she's a better actress than him? Is that what's bothering him? Staring right into her eyes, Sun Yan asks if she really can't see any other reasons. Then Wen Li figures he might be upset about seeing Lu Ming, but quickly says she honestly doesn't care anymore. Pressing his forehead against hers, Sun Yan tells her she's just a dummy. Wen Li smacks him on the forehead, jumps up and yells that he's the dummy and a moron. According to him, it's hard to argue with that, seeing as he married a dummy. The next evening, everyone from the show gathers around a table and chats. Among them are Chu Hong and Chen Jitong, an older married couple of actors who were impressed during today's filming by how sweetly the younger generation confesses their love. Taking the opportunity to gossip a little, Chi Si-han asks Wen Li if she was close to anyone back in school. Thinking about Bo Sen, she replies that there was a guy like that, but they didn't meet in school, they've been friends since childhood. Getting excited, the girl asks if there was anything between them, but Wen Li immediately shoots down that idea. When asked if she's afraid to admit it because Mr. Sun would be jealous, she says no. Which is totally true because Sun Yan was friends with Bo Sen in school, they were always together, so he knows everything anyway. When Chi Si-han asks if Madam Wen had other male friends, she glances at her husband, then replies that she was only friends with girls. When the girl asks Sun Yan the same question, he says that when he was younger, he didn't know how to act around girls. Looking at Lee, he adds that sometimes even face-to-face with a girl, he wouldn't know what to do with himself. He says that's why he often just pretended to be cold, afraid of being found out. After admitting how he felt back then, Sun Yan looks Wen Li right in the eyes. Then the man looks away and says that he was really freaked out back then. Suddenly, Cho Hong butts in, saying that based on the way the couple is looking at each other, they're hiding something. Knowing that if anyone could have found out they were dating in high school, it would already be public knowledge, Wen Li declares that there's no point in her lying. The director cuts them off, thanking everyone for their hard work and telling them to get some rest, since they're heading home tomorrow. He says the actors can keep chatting while the crew packs up the gear. Cho Hong, who's clearly a gossip hound, suggests they talk about first kisses now. A couple of interns admit they've never been in a relationship, confessing they haven't had their first kiss yet. The heroine thinks that if Zheng Xue and Lu Ming were here, they'd proudly say their first kiss was with each other. Seeing her thoughtful face, Chu Hong smirks and guesses that Madam Wen looks like she's trying to cook up a story. Chi Si-han tries to defend her, saying that since she didn't date in school, her first kiss must have been on stage. But the heroine suddenly declares that even though she didn't have a boyfriend, she still had her first kiss in high school. And even though everyone's dying to know who it was with, Wen Li refuses to say. Looking at Song Yan's calm expression, she doesn't understand how he manages to be so unfazed. And when he gets the same question, he says that coincidentally his first kiss was also in high school. everyone stares in surprise at the couple who just confessed to something pretty weird. The director's kicking himself for not catching that on camera. The fans would have gone wild speculating about how these two, never dating anyone and not even knowing each other, both had kisses. Still, the forum's already blowing up with chatter about the behind-the-scenes talk from the show's contestants. The assistant sees disappointed comments about how none of the contestants shared their first kiss with their match. In response, the girl writes that it's enough that they have each other now. Grabbing the fox costumes, which now means so much to the couple, she goes to confirm Wen's schedule for tomorrow. She's trying to figure out what's up with the fans today because it's like someone told them about their contract marriage. Sunyan explains that someone leaked their conversation from yesterday, and now the fans are bummed that their favorite couples didn't share their first kisses. But, he says, if he were asked just one more question, the fans wouldn't have any reason to be upset. Wen Li clamps her hands over his mouth, stopping him from saying anything. Prying her hands off his face and leaning over her, the guy promises to be good and do as he's told. Sunyan walks up to Wen Li, who's getting ready for a shoot, and holds out a small box, asking her to wear this today. He got hired as a brand ambassador for some big name, and they gave him a pair of exclusive custom-made watches. Wen Li thinks she's seen watches from that brand in her uncle's collection. She asks if he's going to be the ambassador for Asia or just China, and Sunyan says it's worldwide. She can't hide the envy. It's totally twisting her cute little face. Looking closer, she notices her initials are even engraved on the watch. She wonders if it'll be too flashy to wear something like that to the shoot. Sunyan tells her to do whatever she feels like. On the way to set, the assistant compliments Wen Li on her watch, and she mentions that she and her husband have matching ones. The main character thinks she should wear luxury items more often to show other brands how popular she is. Actually, she's also doing it for the fans, who will definitely appreciate seeing her and Song Yan with matching accessories. When the main character enters the studio, she's swarmed by journalists taking pictures of celebrity outfits. But among the comments, some people are suddenly writing that Wen Li seems to have gotten so close to Xu Xinyue that they're even wearing matching watches now. Seeing this the next day, the girl doesn't understand how that's even possible since Song Yan gave her this watch. Obviously, the photos don't show her initials or the fact that this item is one of a kind. Someone knocks on Wen Li's dressing room door and calls her to the set, since filming is already starting. The main character watches her brother's performance, happy that he managed to gather fans even before his debut. When the performance ends, the host thanks the trainees and asks the mentors to give their opinions. Wen Li's praising the group's performance today, especially the leader, while Xu Li, standing next to his sister, subtly distances himself. However, that little move didn't escape Xu Xinyue's notice. The mics pass to her, and she gives Xu Li's performance a critique, highlighting his vocal talent. She suggests he work a bit more on his choreography. He smiles and promises to put in the effort. But suddenly, Xinyue decides to hit Xu Li with another question about why he recoiled from Madame Wen. She's curious if he did it because he's got a thing for her, or because she rubs him the wrong way. Our girl's on edge waiting for Xu Li's answer, cause either way, the fans could go ballistic. If he says he's into her, he could get slammed for trying to hook up with his mentor. But if Xu says the opposite, her fans are gonna come at him hard. Wen Li shoots a look of pure disdain at Xu Xinyue, who's clearly trying to stir up trouble for her brother on purpose. But Xu Li manages to weasel his way out of it, saying he's got mad love for both Madame Wen Li and Mr. Song Yan. He only backed off because he was sweating like crazy during the performance and didn't want her catching a whiff of that funk. The crowd roars with laughter, and Wen Li thanks the guy for his confession, promising to pass it on to her hubby. Zhu thanks her back, thinking to himself that he's got Song's number and could tell him himself if he wanted to. As the mentors head back to their seats, you can see on Sinyu's face how bummed she is that her little stunt backfired. Walking up to her, our girl tells her to never ever pull a stunt like that again. Otherwise, Wen Li can't be held responsible for her actions and will scold her good as her elder. Noticing the tension between the girls, the audience starts whispering amongst themselves. To smooth things over, Xu Xinyue smiles and begs Wen not to be mad, claiming she just didn't want the trainees' actions to hurt her feelings. Our girl replies that she hadn't even noticed it until she brought it up. According to Wen Li, she's not thin-skinned enough to sweat the small stuff. And Xu Xinyue should just stick to her job and judge the contestants from her seat without worrying about stepping on toes. The girl retorts that Wen's words make her sound overly sensitive. The heroine laughs, saying she knows Shu was just kidding, but still thinks she's really observant. Turning to the audience, she asks them not to read too much into things, because she and her colleague are actually tight. Taking the girl's hands, she asks her to back her up on that. After all, she says, Shu even wore the same watch as her to surprise her. Feigning embarrassment, Xinyue says she's glad Wen Li noticed the coincidence. To finally change the subject, the heroine invites the next group of trainees onto the stage. Zhu doesn't get why Wen brought up the watch in the first place, since she borrowed it from director Guo and wore it to get under her skin. On the one hand, even though she borrowed those watch from someone else, they're still pricier than the one Wen Li's wearing, which is gonna make her look like a fool. Back home, the heroine vents to Song Yan, telling him how Xinyue tried to stir up trouble for her and her brother right in front of everyone. The guy asks if that's what's got her all riled up, but Wen Li totally loses it, saying that's not even the half of it. Xu Xinyu decided to wear a watch from the same brand as hers after seeing it at some event. The media put out blurry pics, then claimed Xu's watch was a limited edition. Now Wen Li's planning to get manager Deng to leak info that her watch is custom made. She asks Song Yan when he's officially getting announced as the brand ambassador. If he can't spill the beans yet, then she'll hold off on that. Song Yan sits down next to her and just stares at the girl for a beat. Then he smiles and asks if she'll be even more upset if they have to delay releasing this info. Wen Li thinks she should consider his feelings, since he's the one who gave her the watch. Moving closer to the girl, Song Yan asks about her own feelings. And even though she really wants to say she doesn't care, she's not the type to forgive that easily. Collapsing onto Song Yan's lap, she says in a pained voice that it really ticks her off. The man gently strokes Wen Li's hair and replies that he understands completely. When the girl falls asleep on his lap, Song Yan grabs his phone and texts his manager, Bin. He asks him to set up a meeting with the brand reps ASAP. The next day, she angrily reads how the watch incident is being discussed online. Her assistant advises her not to read the comments, so she doesn't get even more worked up. But the moment she picks up her phone, she can't hide how stoked she is about some hotshot. The main character gets even angrier, flipping out that her assistant would dare admire anyone but her. But the girl says she's talking about Mr. Sun Yan and tells Lee to check it out herself. JNL just dropped an official post saying they custom-made matching diamond-studded gold watches and gifted them to their global reps, Sun Yan and Wen Li. The caption says there's only one pair of these watches, and they're worth way more than any limited edition stuff. When the assistant asks if Wen knew about this announcement, she says no way. The girl wonders if Mr. Sun Yan came up with all this himself. The main character smiles and says he's just the brand ambassador, not their copywriter. But then Lee remembers him asking if it bothered her a lot, and it hits her like a ton of bricks. Back home, she walks up to Sun Yan and says she saw the headlines. She's wondering how much JNL pays their copywriter, cause she wants to snag him for her own posts. Sun Yan's asking what she's planning to pay him, cause he's not gonna work for peanuts. The guy smiles, looking straight into the stunned girl's eyes. Flustered, she says dramatically that she probably can't afford him. Sun Yan replies that he's actually not that expensive. Just then, Bo Sen calls and he answers, saying he'll be there soon. He heads straight out to meet his buddy, promising he'll be back later tonight. Left alone, she feels her heart pounding like crazy and gets the feeling something's up. When Sun Yan gets to the Baishu Media CEO's office, the guy says his manager was trying to cut a sweet deal with JNL just yesterday. Bo Sen wants to know if they paid him for smoothing things over so fast, getting the press release, and then writing the post for them himself. The guy said the commission was more than enough, so think of it as a bonus. Bo Sen's like, since when did his buddy get so generous? He used to juggle acting gigs with business classes just to make extra cash, and now he's offering to write brand posts himself. Seems to him, Sun Yan's only doing all this for Wen Li. The guy says he just helped her out a little on the side, that's all. That line sounds super familiar to Bo Sen, because back when Wen Li was caught up in that scandal 2 years ago and her uncle told them to stay out of it, Sun Yan helped out by marrying her. Then he casually signed up for that reality show his wife went on to settle scores with her rival, and now this watch thing. Sitting down next to his friend, Bo Sen asks, if all this is just helping out on the side, what would he consider a serious move? Sun Yan wants to know what he's getting at, so Bo asks him straight up, does he like Wen Li? The guy's surprised, like, you just noticed that now? Sun Yan laughs, figuring Bosen must be a total rookie if he didn't get it till now. The hero contract spells it out plain as day. 2 adults have needs, and that's natural. Wenli knows that legally binds them, as long as they're both cool with it. But the thought that she might actually be falling for him is messing with her head. After agonizing all night and realizing it's true, she decides to accept it and make him fall for her too. Meanwhile, Bo tells his buddy that the reality show wants him to convince Song-yan to be in their final episode. And even though Lee's slow as molasses when it comes to her feelings, she's a good actress, so maybe they can fake some chemistry, at least on stage. Song-yan says he'll think about it, and just then, Wen Lee calls him. Snatching the phone, Bo-sen tells his friend to hurry up because he already gave them his word. He's about to answer the call himself, but looking at the screen, he sees it's his ex-fiancée. Bo-sen decides to mess with him and says it's just some random number calling. When he answers, he's speechless because Wen Lee, in a totally weird, sickly sweet voice, is asking Song-yan when he'll be home. The guy can't believe this ticking time bomb suddenly turned into such a flirt, and he says it out loud. Realizing Bo-sen answered, she's blushing like crazy. Song-yan walks over to his buddy and snatches the phone from him. He puts the phone to his ear and hears Wen Lee yelling at Bo-sen, chewing him out. Finally, Song-yan decides to cut her off and tells her it's him now. Hearing his voice, she can't get a word out, even though she was all fired up just a few minutes ago. She asks why Song-yan let Bo-sen answer the phone just so he could make fun of her. The guy explains that his friend just grabbed the phone and asks what Wen Lee wanted to tell him. She's quiet for a second and then, still not able to spit it out, says it was nothing and hangs up. Sun-yan asks his buddy what Lee said when he grabbed the phone, and he says she just asked when he'd be back. Sun doesn't get what was so funny about that, and his friend says he was just happy because he hadn't talked to her in a while. The actor tells Bo-sen to lay off Wen Lee from now on. Putting on a hurt face, he says he never gave him crap for stealing his girl. But Sun-yan says, totally serious, that Wen Lee was supposed to be his girl in the first place. Bo-sen points out that he only transferred to their school sophomore year. Before that, he was living the high life in Macau, so he shouldn't try to pull one over on anyone here. Anyway, Bo-sen tells him not to sweat it and promises he won't mess with that girl. After all, he knows damn well how hard Sun-yan can punch when he's pissed. There was this one time some guys in class asked Bo-sen to bring his special friend on the graduation trip. They were saying he should try and, get closer to her, but he snapped and told them to watch their mouths. That's when Sun-yan jumped in and decked the guy who was talking trash about Wen Lee, right in the face. So now, if only to keep himself out of trouble, Bo-sen's just gonna be their love's biggest cheerleader. Patting his buddy on the shoulder, Sun-yan says that's a killer plan. Announcing he'll have Bing schedule him as a guest on the show, he says goodbye to his friend and heads out. Leaving the building, Sun-yan thinks it doesn't matter who Wen Lee used to be engaged to, because right now, she's his wife. When he gets home, the girl greets him in the hallway. Spotting the camera on, Sun-yan asks how she'll greet him this time, since last time it was all about the element of surprise. Crouching down in front of him, she replies that she definitely has a mission. Watching from the studio, the director asks if someone changed the script without permission, but the crew swears they didn't touch a thing. Looking bummed out at Lee, Sun-yan asks what the mission is this time. The heroine smiles and motions him to come closer. When he sits down next to her, she says they just need to be together no matter what they're doing. Sun-yan grins and asks what she wants to do then. Wen Lee suggests playing Glorious Tang Fantasia, the game he was promoting recently. She already created a character for Sun-yan using his picture. The heroine also made a character for herself, and now they're gonna do some quests. The girl thinks to herself how awesome their characters look together. Wen Lee decided that she could get closer to Sun-yan while they play. Moving even closer to him, she finally rests her head on his shoulder. Hey, if watching me game is boring you, why don't you go find something to do? You're rubbing your neck, she says. Want me to work on it? And no, I'm not bored. Is that feeling good? She asks, gently massaging his neck. Hello, Earth to Sun-yan? A little feedback would be great here. Just then his phone lights up. Game over. I gotta grab some water, he says, standing up. Wen Lee follows him. Why are you stuck to me like glue? He asks. Because the mission is for us to spend time together. Even the 2 minutes it takes you to get a drink count. Sun-yan clutches his head. This is driving me up the wall. Suddenly, he grabs Wen Lee's hand and drags her towards the bathroom. As he slams the door shut and pins her against the wall, she says, flustered, that she's never had a thing for watching other people use the bathroom. Sun Yan reminds her that she herself said even 2 minutes count. The girl squeezes her eyes shut and tells him to go ahead then, promising not to look. Getting close to her, Sun Yan points out there are no cameras in the bathroom and asks her to tell him the real mission. He claims she can tell him in secret and promises not to tell the crew anything. Turning away from him, embarrassed, Wen Li keeps insisting that really was the mission. According to Sun Yan, if the mission really is spending time together, it's probably not necessary to be glued to each other every single second. Turning even redder, Li replies that she just wants to follow him around everywhere today, like a little puppy. Touching the girl's face and looking into her eyes, Sun Yan asks her why she wants to do that. The girl starts to speak, but she can't bring herself to confess. Looking at her with pain, Sun Yan says it's okay if she can't say it. But as he pulls his hand away from her face, Wen Li grabs his arm. Without breaking eye contact, she asks if he'll kiss her. Sun Yan pulls her close, gently touches his lips to hers, and she returns the kiss. For Wen Li, kisses have always either been part of the job or just about physical needs. But this isn't either of those things, since she made the first move, and Sun Yan accepted the invitation. The couple is interrupted by a message that pops up on Wen Li's phone. In the show's crew group chat, the director asks if the couple has gone to take a bath together. She asks Sun Yan to go out first and she'll follow, otherwise who knows what kind of crazy theories they'll come up with if it airs. Sun Yan wipes the traces of the kiss from her lips and says it won't be a theory anymore if they figure it out. All they'll be able to say is they got caught with their pants down. Wen Li tells him not to talk like that, and he's like, "Then why the hell are you smiling?" She snaps, "None of your business," which just cracks him up even more. Hands on her hips, striking a pose, she's like, "What if I like getting a little frisky with you?" With that, Wen Li struts out of the bathroom, looking all smug. Left alone, Song Yan touches his lips, where she was kissing him just now, and just stands there, totally bewildered. Meanwhile, she's stoked that she's off to a killer start with this whole relationship thing. Maybe he'll even change his mind about that divorce agreement later. Right then, her manager calls. Wen Li answers the phone, sounding so damn happy Deng asks if she just hit the jackpot. But then she tells the girl to get it together because they need to have a serious talk. Dan asks Wen if she remembers how long she's been trying to get her a role in the movie City of Ice, which is being made by a blockbuster director, an award-winning writer, and top investors. But they're not just chasing clout, since she's met with the director a few times, but he still hasn't given a definite answer. If the screenwriter didn't think Wen was right for the role, and Sun Yan wasn't one of the main characters, he wouldn't even give her the time of day. So the actress still has a chance, especially since the director of City of Ice will be at the final season of the reality show S-Tier Acting. Dan sent Wen Li the script for the show and hopes that when the time comes, the girl won't let her down. When she hangs up, Sun Yan comes into the office, and she tells him he can read the script in the bedroom if he needs the room. The guy reminds her about their mission for the show, which Wen Li conveniently forgot, and suggests she just stay here. She finishes reading the script after dark and stretches wearily in her chair. Ever since Wen Li realized her feelings for Sun Yan, his forehead, eyes, nose, lips, every part of him seems attractive to her. Catching her staring at him, Sun Yan asks what she's looking at. Dead serious, she replies that she's looking at him, of course. Sun Yan tells her to focus and not get distracted, unless she wants to look like she's slacking off. She whispers that if that happens, she'll blame him, since looking at him is way more fun than reading the script. The guy turns away and calls her a brown-noser. Not understanding how the truth makes her a suck-up, Wen Li stands up and says she's leaving. Grabbing her hand, Sun Yan asks why she keeps trying to run off. She answers that she can't focus here because she can't take her eyes off him. Watching this, the crew wonders how she can deliver lines like that so naturally, like she's in a cheesy teen drama. The director thinks it's easy for a lead actress in that kind of genre to play this role. Looks like Mr. Sun's actually getting affected by this. He's never been in movies like this, so even the basic stuff can get a rise out of him. Wen Li's totally focused on the script when Sun Yan comes into the bedroom. She was so into reading she didn't even realize it was dinner time, so he brought her some food. Leaning over her, Sun Yan notices she's holding the script for City of Ice. He's already been cast, and he doesn't get why she hasn't said anything. Is it 'cause she doesn't want his help, or does she just not want to work with him? Noticing too much dressing on the plate, she asks if Sun Yan's trying to fatten her up. He tells her not to worry, it's low-calorie dressing. Chowing down on dinner, she reminds herself to watch her attitude and be nicer to Sun Yan. Resting her head on his shoulder, she says the salad tastes amazing. She's offering Sun Yan a bite, and he's wondering if this is some kind of mission thing. Wenli shows him the cameras off, and he's genuinely confused about what's up with her today. She says she's just happy he made her salad, so she wanted to feed him too. Even though it doesn't make much sense, Sun Yan agrees, but for some reason, Lee puts the fish in her own mouth. Then she turns, pulls him close, and feeds him right from her lips. She explains she was worried the piece was too big and wouldn't fit, so she decided to take half. The next day, Sun Yan heads to a City of Ice crew meeting, where director Chu promises Lao Zhou he'll find the perfect actress for the lead role. Meanwhile, he's texting Wen Li, who's asking him to come home early today. When the director asks why he's smiling like that, Sun Yan says he's talking to his wife. Q wonders if Wen Li asks her husband for help, but he claims she's too stubborn for that and never turns to him, no matter how much he wishes she would. The director thinks a little stubbornness is a good thing, since Wan Wan from their movie is pretty headstrong too. Turns out, Chu saw the reality show trailer with Song Yan and his wife, and he thinks the guy's changed a lot since getting married. The actor smiles and tells the director to lay off, then apologizes and heads to the restroom. Washing up, he wonders what'll happen when the show actually airs, if just the trailer is getting this kind of reaction. Thinking about last night, Song Yan decides he needs to talk to director Yan. When Yan answers, he asks him to cut the scene from yesterday's footage about the salad-eating challenge. But the director's clueless, saying the crew didn't give them any assignments while they were at home. Song Yan's confused. Then why was Wen Li pretending to turn off the cameras? Hearing that, the director can't believe he missed some gold again and asks what they were up to. Finally realizing Wen Li was actually turning off the cameras, Song Yan hangs up, and just then a girl comes up behind him. Calling him by name, she points out how long it's been. Before Sun Yan headed off to the production meeting, Wen Li asked him to come home early tonight. She wanted to rehearse the part with him since she's never done a movie like this and feels insecure. Since Mrs. Wen asked him, Sun Yan couldn't refuse and promised to be back soon to help her out. Until he gets back, she's gonna practice on her own. Since Wen hadn't mentioned it before, Sun Yan asked why she wanted this role so badly. In her opinion, working with such an awesome team and a killer script will help her successfully reinvent herself. But she decided not to mention that it would also let her be around Sun Yan all the time. A little bummed by her answer, the guy just agreed with her. Tang Jiren's voice snaps Sun Yan back to reality from those memories. Sorry guys, spaced out there for a sec and totally lost track of what we were saying. Tang says she heard the crew booked a table here and just had the nerve to show up uninvited. Sun says it's cool and director Q's stoked. He even promises to introduce her to the producer. As they walk away, the screenwriter whispers to Sun Yan that even though she's got the looks, she's not right for the lead in City of Ice. He thinks Wan Wan needs to be both captivating and brave, proud like Wen Li. Sun Yan smiles and says his wife would be over the moon to hear him say that. The screenwriter wishes he had more pull. He sent Wen Li's agent the script a while back but never heard back. Then Miss Tang got in touch. Just then, director Q and Jiren approach them. She wants to make a toast. Hearing they were talking about Wen Li, Tang asks why she didn't show up tonight. Sun Yan replies his wife isn't bold enough to show up unless she's sure she's got the part locked down. Q says S-tier acting's happening in a couple days, and it's his first time at a show like this, so he's asking Sun to watch out for him cause actors' fans can be brutal. Sun Yan agrees with the writer that any actor, even his wife, would be thrilled to get feedback from someone like Mr. Chu. Still, he hopes the director will go easy on Wen Li, cause he'd hate for her to get hurt. Sun Yan and Tang Jiren are the first to leave the dinner. As they're leaving, Chu tells the writer that seeing that former on-screen couple so cold to each other, it seems like Yue Guang wasn't lying back then. That was 10 years ago, during the filming of Sun Yan's debut movie, when the rookie actor was still in high school. Yue Guang was really worried because when Sun Yan looked at Tang Jiren, his eyes were totally blank. Talking to the kid didn't work until the director asked if there was a girl he liked. He told him to imagine the movie was about them, where she's a superstar and he's just a piece of garbage. Sun Yan needed to picture they weren't a couple, and that's when the guy's eyes filled with pain. So, by playing the role, he wasn't looking at the actress, but at the girl in his heart, and he nailed it. When Sun Yan gets home, Wen Li excitedly runs to meet him. She suggests he take a breather and check out how her practice is going. Watching Wen Li perform, Sun Yan thinks about how brightly the girl he loves always shines, And compared to her, he'll always feel like a piece of dirt on the road, looking up at her. When she finishes, Sun Yan applauds, saying it was awesome. He also tells Wenli what the screenwriter said about how perfect she is for the part. Sitting down next to him on the couch, super pleased with herself, she asks if Sun Yan wants her to get the role. Hugging her close, he replies that he really, really hopes she does. Wenli smiles and promises to do everything she can to make it happen. Sun's thinking that even if he's not good enough for her, he still wants to make her shine even brighter. Soaked to the bone in the rain, Sun Yan's splashing through puddles towards Wenli standing in the distance. He finally catches up, but Wen Yan suddenly blocks his path. He claims his niece would still be engaged to the guy if his dad hadn't lost everything. But now that his family's lost it all, Wen Yan doubts Sun Yan can climb back to the top just by studying and working hard. Wen Yan reminds him that the guy himself grew up in luxury, and if he were in his shoes, he'd do the same thing. The nightmare finally ends when a worried Wenli wakes Sun Yan up. Feeling his sweaty forehead, she asks if he's okay. Holding her hand to his forehead, he replies that it was just a bad dream, probably because he's super tired. She carefully covers Sun Yan with a blanket and tells him to go get some rest because he really scared her. Once she's sure he's gonna be all right, she heads out of the room. Sun Yan watches her go, and a scene from his recent nightmare flashes in his mind. Not wanting her to leave, he instinctively grabs her hand. But when she asks what's wrong, he's totally drawing a blank. He thanks her for the blanket and tells Wenli to get going to work. She tells him to call if he needs anything and reminds him to take a look at the script. After seeing his wife off, Sun Yan picks up the script, but he just can't focus. He doesn't get why he had that dream again. Watching him on the monitors, the You Are Here show crew is trying to figure out why Mr. Sun hasn't turned a single page in the last hour. Still unable to get it together, he decides to put the script aside for now and grabs his phone. This dude's online, desperately searching for advice on dealing with stubborn, narcissistic chicks. But all he finds is advice to ditch Sun Yan and move on. Seriously? Figuring her fans know Wenli best, he decides to see what they're saying online. Hopping onto her page, Sunli finds tips on how to snag a guy. Act flighty, use your charm in small ways like dancing, pampering, feeding him. Make bold moves that hit him right in the feels and it'll set off a chain reaction. Reading all this, Sun Yan starts shaking like a leaf. He can't believe his hunch and wonders, could it be that Wenli actually has feelings for him? The girl gets home, totally beat, and finds Sun Yan already crashed out, even though it's not that late. She notices he's furrowing his brow even in his sleep, like he's caught in another bad dream. So Sun Yan's out in the rain again, but this time Wenli's facing him, asking if he's into her. He admits he can't answer, cause he's totally freaked out. And just then she starts fading away, disappearing into the mist. Sun Yan lunges for her, grabs her, pulls her close, begging her not to leave him, over and over saying he loves her. Still asleep, eyes closed, he hugs the real confused Wenli tight, and again begs her not to go. A couple hours earlier, she was at work, where her assistant was showering her with compliments again. Looking at herself in the mirror, Lee decided she had to show Sun Yan how she looked. Suddenly, she gets a text from her uncle, Wen Zheng, saying Sun Yan was at a restaurant last night and Tang Jiren was with him. According to her uncle, even if it's just a marriage of convenience, some basic respect is still expected. Putting down her phone, she notices her assistants watching a fan-made video about her. It's all about how to seduce Wenli, even though she thinks it's totally ridiculous. According to the makeup artist, the actress really does look like she's flirting with Mr. Sun in these videos. She's thinking hard, figuring there's no way, cause these shots were taken before she even realized her feelings for him. Lee's pulled out of her thoughts by a call from her manager, asking if she's learned the script, since they gotta head to Shanghai for the show recording in 2 days. The girl admits she's been busy prepping for the reality show and hasn't put in enough time on it. Dong reminds her that Wenli's on that show to land the role, so it's important to work on both scripts. The manager tells her not to sit around at home for the next 2 days, but to hit the theater studio so she doesn't let screenwriter Joe down. Tang Jiaren showed up at a private meeting for the City of Ice team recently, and she must be serious if she came over to our table. She asks her manager why she thinks Tang came back from overseas, and if it's about the role or about Sun Yan. But Deng suggests they talk about Wenli's own desires, and the girl answers that she's interested in both the role and Sun. The manager's surprised the actress is being so upfront, and suggests she outdo Tang if that's the case. She also tells Wenli to think about what happens when her and her husband's contract is up. What if that old thing with Tang flares up again once Song Yan's single again? She hangs up, but her manager's last words keep replaying in her head. She doesn't get what Dong's talking about, what thing. They were just co-stars. Then, getting home, Wenli finds Song Yan's already asleep. And she didn't even take off her makeup to show him like this. Since Song Yan didn't wake up, she quickly washes off her makeup. The girl gets into bed and angrily goes online to see how her husband looks with Tang Jiangren. Finally, she finds clips from Song Yan's debut movie, where he acted with that girl. Wen Li's amazing. How could he look so tender and longing on screen for his sweetheart when he was such a stone-cold jerk back then? She remembers how he treated her back then, thinking his face was more like a mask of pure loathing. Not wanting to dwell on it, she shoves her phone under the pillow and tries to get some sleep. Suddenly, she hears Sun Yan tossing and turns to look at him, noticing his furrowed brow. Then he grabs her, pulls her close, and she realizes he's having another nightmare. Holding his head to her chest, burying her nose in his hair, Lee whispers that she met him first. And maybe, just maybe, if he hadn't been such a total you-know-what to her back then, she would have fallen for him way sooner. Dawn broke, and sunlight flooded the room where the couple had slept embraced all night. Wenli was woken up by a phone call, and only after opening her eyes did she realize with a jolt that it was already morning. She answers the phone to her assistant's worried voice, reminding her that she and her husband are flying to Shanghai today. Lee's schedule is insane, but she has to go. Her manager found her a theater workshop in Shanghai. Sun Yan walks into the bathroom, yawning, and for a second, she just freezes. He looks so sleepy. He reminds her of the character from his first movie. But then she remembers the way he looked at that other girl in the film, and Lee gets this weird feeling. She asks him for a little more time and promises to call him when the bathroom's free. Sun agrees, a little bummed, and heads off to finish packing. He's starting to wonder if his fans really know Wen Li, because it sure doesn't seem like she's into him. Sun Yan sighs heavily, trying to convince himself yet again that it's all in his head. A while later, the couple's standing in the courtyard with their luggage, waiting for the assistant to arrive. Looking at Sun Yan, she thinks it's all because she spent way too long watching scenes from that movie yesterday. She's totally lost now, and she's been racking her brain all morning trying to figure out how to talk to him. Watching the couple, the show's director is blown away by how distant the two spouses are. He was hoping that, at least before they left, they'd give him something worthwhile to work with. The director's sending the camera guy to Shanghai too, telling him to do whatever it takes to get some decent footage. Remembering that, it suddenly hits her that she can still use that as an excuse. Sitting on the plane, her eyes glued to Sun Yan, Wen Li thinks that as long as this show is running, she can get away with pretty much anything with him. So she tells him they have an assignment from the film crew. With that, she takes his hand and their fingers intertwine. Sun Yan just stares silently at their hands, surprised, while Wen Li, blushing, says that they have to fly like this the whole way. Since he's not saying anything, she asks if he doesn't even want to do it for the sake of the assignment. She lets go of his hand, saying he doesn't have to do this if he doesn't want to. Grabbing her hand again, Sun Yan replies that's not the case at all. But since this is an assignment, he thinks they should take it a little more seriously. Pressing his lips to the back of her hand, Sun Yan asks if this is okay. For a while, they fly in silence, enjoying the pleasant music from the speaker and the warmth of each other's hands. Suddenly, Sun Yan leans in close to the girl and asks if she's sure the assignment was about hands, and not, say, something else. Embarrassed and blushing, the heroine quickly assures him that it's exactly as she said. And suddenly, looking him in the eyes, she realizes that he's probably figured everything out. When she asks if he's accusing her of stretching the truth when he jokes like that, Sun Yan replies with a smile that he wasn't even thinking about it. Still, the cameraman isn't with them right now to film the assignment, so maybe they should upgrade his ticket so he can join them. Realizing Sun Yan totally gets what's up and is just messing with her, Wen Li blushes even harder from embarrassment and anger. She blurts out that it's nothing, she was just practicing. Li saying she was just worried about not being believable cracks him up. Grabbing his shirt, pulling him close while still holding his hand, she asks if he was trying to pull a fast one on her when he mentioned getting intimate. Sun Yan just stares into her eyes, completely thrown off. Suddenly, she lets go and says it's totally her fault for being so irresistible he can't help himself. Pulling her eye mask down, Wen Li says she's gonna take a nap and tells him to wake her up when they land. Sun Yan sighs, keeps looking at her and takes her hand again. At the Shanghai airport, the celebrity couple is greeted by crowds of fans and reporters. Flashes are popping everywhere, and you can hear the excited screams. "Easy there, guys. Watch where you're going. Don't knock her over," Sun Yan said, steadying his wife. Leaning against his solid shoulder, she wondered if he could tell what she was really thinking. Whatever the deal, she decided to keep playing along and see who cracked first. The heroine relished the thought of getting her way, of them finally being together. Realizing what she was daydreaming about, she gave herself a mental shake to snap out of it and focus. Seeing that, the fans thought the actress was super nervous and shouted words of encouragement, reminding her that her man was right there with her. Wenli smiled, waved to the fans, and promised she wouldn't let them down. No way. Sun Yan opened the car door for his wife, and the fans yelled for him to take good care of her. Pulling her close, he promised he absolutely would. Already in the car, one of the crew members apologized to the couple for having to go straight from the airport to the studio because of the tight schedule. Sun Yan hushes him, says Wenli's asleep on his shoulder. "Keep it down." "Half asleep," she mumbles to wake her up when they get there. Leaning his cheek against her head, Sun Yan thinks he won't rush her until she finally figures out how she feels about him. He's always been patient, but seeing what's happening at the studio now, it feels like his heart's being ripped apart. Watching everything from the sidelines, he can't even wrap his head around what's going on. Standing across from Ning Junxuan on set, Wenli confesses her love for him. Earlier, on the way to S-tier acting studio, Sun Yan offered to help Wenli rehearse, saying he already knew the script. Glancing at the pages, she was surprised to see he'd skipped all the romantic scenes. She asked if he'd get jealous when she performed those scenes with other guys. Sun Yan answered that romantic scenes weren't his strong suit, and someone else could help her with that. He was seriously racking his brain about how to get his wife a role with the director, figuring he'd screw everything up if he played a scene he wasn't good at. The couple got just as wild a welcome at the S-tier acting rehearsal room as they did at the airport, and while Sun Yan was being introduced to the actor he was supposed to mentor, Wenli was checking out which scenes they'd picked for today. She walked over to the young actors, Ning Junxuan and Wang Miao, who were supposed to be doing the scene together. But the director told her that when she looked at the male lead, she didn't have enough shyness and timidity in her eyes. Wenli reassured Wang Miao and promised to give her a masterclass, telling her to pay close attention to her eyes. She called Ning Junxuan over to rehearse the scene with her. Sun Yan was chatting with his trainee when someone suggested he take a look at his wife giving a masterclass to the young actors. But surprisingly, he refused to watch. The actors, figuring he just didn't want to get jealous, convinced him it was all just acting, and he finally agreed. On the way, Sun Yan wondered if he was actually jealous, but decided he wasn't. The dude realized he just plain didn't want to watch it. But seeing his wife confess her love to another guy, Sun Yan realized he'd overestimated himself. And now his heart is overflowing with jealousy. He covers his face, not wanting to see it. Anger washes over him when he hears Nan apologize for messing up the play because his heart is pounding from looking at Madam Wen. Sensing tension behind him, the guy turns around and sees Sun, trying his best to look good-natured. Lee suggests rehearsing again, and Nan is surprised by Madam Wen's audacity, acting so naturally right in front of her husband. Truth is, the guy really wants the actress to finally notice Mr. Sun because he's scared stiff of him. But Sun Yan applauds and declares that it was excellent. And then he adds that, what a coincidence, romantic scenes are his weak spot too, so he asks Wen to rehearse the same way with him. Even though it sent a shiver down her spine, she reminds herself that acting isn't cheating. She tells her husband not to interrupt the other's practice, but everyone around says he's not bothering them and it'll actually help. The girl finally agrees, and handing Yan the script asks him to let her know if her acting seems unbelievable. Her husband tells her not to hold back, claiming he really struggles with scenes like this. Angrily recalling that one scene from a movie 10 years ago, Wenli seriously doubts that. The scene starts, and now Sun Yan, gripping Wenli's hands tightly and looking her straight in the eye, asks if she really doesn't see how he feels about her. Turning red, the heroine reminds herself that she's a professional actress and needs to stay calm. Never breaking eye contact, Sun Yan says he's never felt this way about any other woman, and he's never yearned, given, or cared like this before. Kissing her fingertips, he admits he always thought he was only helping her out of duty and obligation. Then, pulling Lee close, Sun Yan says he now realizes how selfish he's been towards her. Pressing his cheek against hers, he asks if the silly little fox still doesn't get it after everything he's said. In a flash, it became so hard for her to tell what was acting and what was real, but one thing was for sure, She never wanted this moment to end. Pushing him away, the actress, red to the tips of her ears, declares that she doesn't want to hear such sugary words from him. In her head, Wen-li is kicking herself for how badly she played the scene, even stumbling over her lines. Holding her by the shoulders, Song-yan replies that even if these words embarrass her, they come straight from his heart. Gently touching her lips with his finger, he leans in to kiss her. They're interrupted by a shout that the scene is done, and Wen-li, covering Song-yan's lips with her hand, thanks him for the performance. The young actors crowd around the pair, marveling at how accurately they conveyed the feelings and the tension. Wang Miao is incredibly excited by what he's seen and showers Madame Wen with compliments. She overhears the actors discussing among themselves that the kiss scene will obviously be cut due to time constraints. Knowing this scene wasn't in the script, she asks Sun Yan how he planned to pull it off. The guy says he just remembers what's supposed to happen next. No big deal. Wen-li's pissed, doesn't get why he didn't rehearse with her and lied about being bad at these kinds of scenes. Sun Yan says he wasn't lying and actually almost blew it. Wen-li's acting was so damn convincing. He says another second and he would have actually thought she was into him. Looking him right in the eye, she's about to say something, but they get interrupted. Some young actor asks Sun for help, and he jumps at the chance to get his mind off the butterflies in his stomach. Wen-li's annoyed, saying he's too old to be acting like some lovesick teenager. After a bit, Sun Yan suggests his wife go say hi to the director since he texted that he's arrived. On the way, she feels kinda awkward and figures she needs to do something about it. She said she was a little distracted during their scene today and hopes it didn't throw him off. Sun Yan said it didn't affect him at all since he wasn't exactly dialed in himself. The guy admits he saw himself in the character and it totally messed with his head. Stopping and grabbing his hand, Wen-li demands to know who he was picturing in her place then. And when she asks if he was picturing Tang Jieren, Sun Yan is visibly taken aback. Realizing she got way too caught up in her feelings and it looked super lame, she shuts up and hangs her head. Saying it doesn't even matter, she turns away and tells her husband they should keep moving. But he grabs her hand and stops her. Sun Yan says, "Wen-li," and she turns around, not understanding why he's calling her name. Looking her dead in the eye, he says he's not calling her, he's answering her question. Because when he acted out that scene, he was picturing her, Wen-li. After changing, the actress meets the director, Yu Wei-guan. While they're talking, Director Q is checking her out, thinking her look is definitely the best fit for the Wen-wen role. Greeting him, the girl smiles and promises to give it her all. Mr. Q likes that she's not trying to butter him up with sweet talk. Since everyone's here, the actors are asked to head to the recording booth. And now Wen-li's on stage, and the host is asking which role she wants to draw in the lottery. The girl replies that whatever role she gets, she won't let Mr. Sun down. The host laughs, saying that's enough public affection for one day, and asks her to flip the paper over. Our girl's gotta act out a scene from the movie Long Live Empress Dowager. Alright, everyone's got their scripts, so let's get these pairings going. First up, Mr. Sun, who's your pick? Sun Yan's going with Ning Jun Xuan. Heard they went to the same drama school, so there's that. Next up, Ms. Wen-li gets to choose. Girl's thinking hard, she's got options for days. But then Sun Yan, with this huge grin, just throws it out there. Hey, pick me! Awkward silence fills the room, and Lee just stares at him, eyes wide like saucers. The director's like, hold up. Can you even handle juggling 2 different scripts at once? Sun Yan says he actually really digs Mr. Yu's movies, and he's still bummed he was too busy to be in it back then. The director forces a smile, cause he remembers exactly how the guy turned him down cause he didn't want to do the romance stuff. Director Q sees right through it. Wen-li's pulling this whole thing to snag the Wen-wen role. Thing is, in acting, your skill only gets you so far. You're only as good as the person you're playing off of. So, when the host asks if the guest can pick another guest as their partner, Chu gets pissed at that little weasel Sun Yan, who'd do anything for his wife. When asked if Wen-li agrees to play with her husband, she gives a thumbs up. The young actor Duan Hong pulled a scene from Madame Wen's old fantasy work out of the lottery, but he's never even done anything like that before. The guy says those kinds of roles don't usually come across his agent's desk, and it'll be a tough gig, but he's got faith in himself and his partner. With all the roles handed out, the host tells the actors to get their butts in gear and prep hard for the next 2 days. During another rehearsal, Wen-li asks Sun Yan if she was laying it on too thick with her emotions. He says the opposite, but tells her to imagine Duan Hong in his place to really get her riled up. Covering her mic, she tells him to keep it down. Sun Yan's a movie star and Duan Hong's a TV star, and she doesn't want them beefing over her on this project. Looking at her, the guy thinks Wen Li might finally be starting to care about him. Stroking her cheek, Sun Yan asks how he couldn't be pissed. With sadness in her voice, she wonders why he didn't do anything about it then. Sun Yan admits he thought the best way to take him down was to play his own part perfectly, but if she'd given him any kind of signal, he would have loved to teach that jerk a lesson. Impressed that he can not only act but also fight, Wen Li throws her arms around him, not even realizing how often he did that in school for her sake. Cupping his face in her hands, she wonders why he's such a perfect guy. Leaning in close, Sun Yan asks why she wouldn't fall for him if he's so perfect. Wen Li is silent, and he, a little disappointed, suggests they run through the lines again. But she suddenly blurts out that she could, but then he has to fall for her ASAP too. Sun Yan stares at her, shocked, and she doesn't even know what she's doing anymore. Face red as a beet, the guy's complaining that Madam Wen stepped out of line again. Their chat gets cut short when the IT guy walks in, here to check the mics. Sun Yan tells the dude everything's cool, they just muted them for a sec. While they're talking, she's trying to pull herself together, because feelings are feelings, but they gotta nail this scene. I mean, before Mr. Sun was totally cold, but now he's definitely falling for her charm. Turning back to him, she suggests they learn their lines separately, then meet up and run through them again together. 30 minutes go by, and Sun Yan realizes with a jolt that he can't remember a damn thing. Seeing he's still struggling, she says it's not too late to back out of playing two roles at once. But Sun Yan insists that's not the problem at all. Leaning close to his shoulder, Wen Li offers to help and asks him where he's getting stuck. She's thrilled she can not only be helpful, but also use it as an excuse to get a little hands-on with him. Sun Yan's blushing like crazy. He's feeling some serious pressure with all this going on. Unable to take it anymore, the guy gets up and says he needs to check on his junior in the next room. Before he goes, Wen Li gives him a few pointers on mentoring Ning Junxuan. Sun Yan replies that he's got it covered, and she should focus on her own performance. After 2 hours of training in Ning Junxuan's rehearsal room, the mentor finally gives him some praise and suggests a break. The kid thanks Mr. Sun and compliments his awesome stage presence. Ning Junxuan is amazed at how manly he looks, even just drinking water. The actors get back to rehearsing, and after a while, Wen Li walks into the room. She walks in right when they're doing a fight scene and says she just wanted to see how they were doing. Sun Yan helps his partner up and suggests they just start the whole thing over. Watching them, she thinks how easy it is for guys to work together on stage. They don't have a worry in the world. But if that scene was between her and Sun Yan, it would probably look totally different. She vividly imagines these intense scenes where their eyes lock, and every touch means something more. And it would definitely end with an embrace, after which Sun Yan would say she can't escape him. For some reason, that kind of scene feels really familiar to her, like she's heard it before. A memory flashes back of Sun Yan saying those exact words in bed one time. She's so lost in thought that she jumps, startled when Nan asks her how she liked their performance. Shocked at what she was just thinking about when she needs to be working, Wen Li compliments the actors and hurries to get out of there. The girl runs off, leaving Nan Junxuan completely bewildered. While he's trying to figure out what happened to Madam Wen, Song Yan can't shake the feeling that Li's been eyeing that young actor the whole time. On the way to the hotel, she can't figure out why the vibe in the car is so damn tense. Even the assistant notices it and asks Wen Li if everything's all right, but just then Song Yan's phone rings. Playing it cool, she eavesdrops and finds out it's Nan asking his mentor to help him with a scene. She asks her husband why he didn't stay with his trainee if he's still rehearsing. Giving her a hard look, Song Yan replies that Li seems a little too concerned about his trainee. She retorts that it's not like that. She just thinks he should have stayed with Nan, especially since he can't even remember his lines with her. Smirking, Song Yan asks why she was staring at the guy so hard if she's not interested. She loses it and yells that she could say the same about him, since he's totally absorbed in playing around with that guy, but can't even rehearse lines with her. Turning away, the man suddenly admits it's because of her that he forgets his lines. For a minute, they just glared daggers at each other in silence before the argument started up again. Finally, the assistant, totally fed up, turns to them and says they're both grown-ups and can admit they're jealous. They turn away from each other like little kids, neither one wanting to own up to it. Once they get to the hotel, Wen Li heads straight for the shower, and Song Yan promises to wait for her. Thinking he's hinting at something else, She peeks out the door and tells him to get some sleep, since they have an early start tomorrow. Songyan's confused. What does tomorrow's rehearsal have to do with him waiting for her? He wants to shower too. The heroine slams the door shut and says it has nothing to do with anything. Her behavior strikes Songyan as weird. He stands there for a second, trying to figure out what she meant, and then it hits him. Wen Li, realizing she totally jumped to conclusions, tries to calm down under the running water. Just then, there's a knock on the door, and Songyan tells her to hurry up, or they can just shower together to save time. Standing behind the door, she's fuming, wondering what the heck he's even talking about. Sunyan replies that it'll take a lot more time to rehearse properly, and Li realizes he meant the script. She scolds herself for having such a dirty mind, trying to pull herself together and stop thinking about him all the time. Only when Sunyan comes out of the shower, apologizing for the delay, does she finally understand he just wanted her to wait so he could shower. Sitting on the edge of the bed and smiling, Wenli asks her son to come over to her. Sunyan stares at her, stunned, asking her what she just called him. Pointing to the script, she laughs and says that the Empress Dowager is waiting for him. Grabbing her cheeks, Sunyan tells her to call him that again, because he finds it amusing that she's playing his mother when she's younger than him. And when Li declares she could give birth to any kind of son, he offers to help her with that, since you can't have a baby alone. Cupping his face in her hands, she replies that she'll have the baby, and in that case, he'll be the father. Pulling Sun Yan close, she kisses him softly on the lips. Afterwards, looking him straight in the eye, Wen Li asks if she scared him. He admits it, and asks how much longer she's going to keep playing these games. Sun Yan wants to know how much she's enjoying keeping him on the hook and using the intern to make him jealous. He says he's only so distracted because she keeps sending him mixed signals. Wen Li replies that it's her strategy to win his heart, and she wants to know if it hasn't worked. Playfully running her fingers down his chest, the girl asks what her captive is going to do now. Pulling her close, Sun Yan replies that Madam Wen seems to know how to push a guy's buttons. Pulling back slightly, she says that threats are beneath him. Sun Yan embraces her and tells her to stop being stubborn, not after they've come this far. He agrees not to rush her and, starting tomorrow, to act in a way that makes her comfortable. Before Wen Li can even celebrate, Song Yan announces that he has one condition. She'll have to give him some answers because, unlike her, he hates being left hanging. She begs him not to think she's a jerk, saying she already explained it was just a tactic, but Song Yan repeats that the tactic worked and he doesn't want to play these games anymore. He nibbles on her ear and asks if she wants to keep him in suspense. Wen Li says no, and then he kisses her, cutting her off. Catching his breath, Song Yan says that her refusal would mean she doesn't like him. The girl wonders how she could possibly turn him down after all this. Song Yan concludes that she really does like him, and gently nips at Li's shoulder. The next morning, she's a whole half-hour late for work for the first time ever, which really surprises her assistant. Everyone's been buzzing about how Wen Li dragged Mr. Sun off to rehearsals without even letting him break for lunch. Then Yan's voice pipes up from behind, backing it all up, saying he rehearsed till Madam Wen was completely satisfied. All done with her makeup, Li gets up from the chair, ready to head to the show. Standing backstage, waiting for their cue, the couple hears them thanking Wang Miao and Ning Junxuan for a great performance and asking Duan Hong to critique it. The guy says he might offend Wen Li, but Wang Miao's take on the role was better, in his opinion. She's surprised he's using techniques Madam Wen herself taught her to tear down the actress. When the host asks if Duan's nervous before his own performance, he says no, but he doesn't think roles like this are right for him. He thinks it's important for every actor to find their niche, and these roles are more Madam Wen's thing. But luckily she found director Yu, and Hong hopes they'll both shine. The crowd's getting heated, seeing that as a direct shot at Wen Li, saying she's got no talent. Gently tugging on her husband's suit, she admits she's a little nervous and asks him to give her a pep talk. "Don't sweat it," Sun Yan whispers, covering his mic. "I'm right here with you." "Are you gonna hold it against me if I screw this up?" she asks. Yan strokes her cheek. "Remember back in high school? You weren't afraid to dance on that stage all by yourself. Now even if you mess up, you've got a husband who's got your back, always. Just relax," he says. "Show him what you can do." And those words calm her down. Wen Li asks, "Would you say the same thing if I were someone else?" When he says no, she calls him biased. Squeezing her hand tight, Sun Yan replies, "That's impossible. I am biased here, because you're the only one I want to pay attention to." The host announces their special guests, Sun Yan and Wen Li, with a classic scene from Long Live Empress Dowager. One of the viewers asks her date, "So what's this story about?" He replies, "It's all about political backstabbing." Basically, the prince takes the throne with help from his stepmother, the Empress Dowager, and his feelings for her are complicated. And this scene right here is one of the most emotionally charged in the whole movie. Next up, we see Song Yan on screen as the prince arriving in his stepmother's chambers. He says he heard a rumor that her advisor and his mentor hung himself in the dungeon, and he's there to comfort her. According to the Empress, she didn't even know about it until just now, and she's definitely not grieving. The prince replies that his mother can rule this palace for as long as she wants. Giving a sly smile, the Empress declares that an emperor who leaves things to the eunuchs is worse than a toddler. Leaping up and getting right in her face, the prince says he finally understands what his mother's thinking, and she yells, outraged, asking what he thinks he's doing. Smiling happily, he points out that the Empress just called him by his name. The woman asks if he's going to off her now. But the prince, turning on the charm, just asks her to say his name again. The episode pauses, and the host welcomes Sun Yan and Wen Li to the stage. The audience applauds, and our girl's freaking out like she's competing, not just a guest star. Sun Yan squeezes her hand tight, telling her not to worry, that he's right there. The couple smiles at the audience while the host hands the mic over to the audience and the directors. The film director admits he was being pretty cynical when he shot that scene, and he was surprised to see the love this couple brought to it. The producer was so impressed by their acting, he'd buy any episode just to work with them. After all the praise, Wen Li turns to Mr. Duan and asks him to share his opinion on her performance. The man admits that it was actually really good. The heroine thanks him with a sarcastic smile, adding that his opinion, as a professional actor, is definitely trustworthy. She says that actors without formal training have to work harder, and she wants to show by example that you don't need a fancy education to act well. Holding her husband's hand, Wen Li adds that she still has a lot to learn, of course, but she'll manage. She thanks Mr. Sun, without whom she wouldn't have been able to prepare properly for this performance. The host asks if he can add one small detail. Sun Yan was the only one who broke the rules and volunteered to partner with his wife, knowing the director wouldn't refuse him. And now the host asks him to admit that he was just jealous and didn't want his wife to play a romantic scene with another guy. Noticing Sun Yan's embarrassment, Wen Li tells him not to worry, claiming they'll definitely cut that part out. However, the audience is already completely ignoring their embarrassment and chanting for a kiss. Putting his arm around his wife, Sun Yan replies that they'll probably save that for when they're alone at home. Since it's time for the next contestants, the stars are asked to head to the guest seating area. As he enters the hall, Sun Yan sighs heavily for some reason. Hearing that, she's like, "What's wrong? Did I mess something up on stage?" Sun Yan shakes his head, saying he just feels bad because the audience's complaints weren't totally off base. Stopping dead in her tracks, she replies, "You know what? You're absolutely right." Sun Yan turns around like, "Wait, say that again?" Wen Li suddenly reaches out and kisses him. "'Cause it's true, those complaints did have a point." That night, after filming, they're chilling in bed, watching the movie scene they did today. It hits her now how good the actor is, and she wishes Sun Yan had been in it, 'cause then the movie would have been mind-blowing. Although, seeing how steamy some of the scenes are, Wen Li quickly changes her mind. Shaking his head, Sun Yan says, "Hey, every actor brings something different to the table." Li asks, "Are you seriously gonna try and pull that one on me again? Saying you're terrible at the lovey-dovey stuff?" She thinks none of the guys she's ever worked with on those dramas even come close to him. Sun Yan says you can always compare one guy to another. She tells him not to sweat it, because in her eyes, nobody can touch him. Sun Yan gets flustered, gently touches her hand, and thanks her. Snuggling up to him playfully, she asks if he's just gonna stick to words of gratitude. And since Sun Yan doesn't get what else she wants, she gets annoyed and says it's time for bed. Grabbing her hand and pulling her onto his lap, he asks why she's in such a rush. And as Yan covers her face with kisses, she gets mad that he's playing dumb, knowing exactly what she's getting at. He apologizes, saying she's just really cute when she's mad. Then he whispers playfully in her ear, asking if the Empress wants to, practice some lines with him tonight. Li fires back that she's already done her time on stage today, and besides, Director Q wants to meet up and invited her to dinner. But the audition is what matters, right? There are a bunch of actresses going for the part, and all she's got going for her is that the writer thinks she looks like Wen Wen. Sun thinks that's a huge leg up, and she just needs to nail her prep. Putting his arm around her waist, Yan asks if they're done for the day. She asks for his advice on dealing with Mr. Q, but he suggests leaving that for tomorrow. He's itching to do something besides work, which they can always get back to later. But she's pretty sure he won't have the energy to give her advice later. Still, Sun Yan gets his way, and a couple of minutes later, they're getting busy. Later, as she's drifting off, she asks him why he likes it so much when she calls him Suezhange. He kisses her softly and says it's a reminder that his dream finally came true. The director of You Are Here is losing his mind because they're practically cutting the footage with a razor blade. But then he gets the idea to throw in some scripted segments right when the couple goes live, because then they can't cut the cameras. So, a couple of days later, the film crew sets up a charity live stream with the show's contestants. The host suddenly announces that tonight they're not just selling stuff, they're also gonna play a game. Thinking there won't be many viewers on a charity stream, the heroine isn't too worried about losing. But it turns out over 1 million people are watching, and that's when Wen Li tells her husband they can't afford to screw this up. The first minigame is with napkins, which are also up for sale as part of the charity drive. To show how soft the napkins are, the contestants have to pass them to each other using only their lips. The couple that passes the most napkins wins, and only Yang Jun and Chi Si Han will be sitting this one out. The audience is totally eating up how emotionally invested Song Yan and Wen Li are in this challenge. The competition wraps up with our couple taking the win, and she can't help but feel proud. The crowd goes wild when Song Yan gently wipes the sweat from his wife's face. For the next round, the host asks the couples to switch roles, and now the husband's handing Wen Li the tissues. She suddenly notices he's holding the tissue so close it's practically touching his lips. Smiling, Sung Yan gestures for his wife to come closer. Pulling her in, he gives her a quick kiss, and the chat just explodes with comments. Wen Li playfully smacks him and tells him to get serious. Of course, that night their stream is trending again, and they're calling Wen Li the reverse pull saleswoman. She's annoyed by those headlines because they nailed it and all the items sold out. She shows it to Sung Yan, but he doesn't want to see it. Wen Li's asking if he's pissed she slapped him on live TV. Glaring at her, he says he just feels sorry for himself. With that, Song Yan turns and walks away, head down. But Wen Li catches up, jumps, and throws her arms around his neck. When he asks what she's doing, she says he's unbelievably cute. Wen Li doesn't get how she didn't realize how sweet he actually is. Song Yan says he might not know how cute he is, but she definitely knows how to make him happy. When he asks what he means, the guy says she's damn good at her little games. Kissing her hand, Song Yan admits she's got him beat. She says she knows some even better moves and suggests they try them out. Sun Yan's down with it, so he pulls her close, ready for a kiss. But then she suddenly yelps, realizing there's a camera on in the room. After Wen Li kills the cameras, Sun Yan scoops her up and carries her to the bedroom so she can keep showing him her moves. Meanwhile, the camera guy is kicking himself for bumping the controls and blowing their cover when the camera moved. The show's director, meanwhile, is drowning his sorrows at a restaurant, clueless about what to do with so little footage. Suddenly, he gets a call telling him they finally got something. Now the director's stoked, raising a toast to the crew, who are starting to think their boss is off his rocker. But the next day, the famous couple comes in demanding he cut their conversation from last night. Even though the director doesn't see anything wrong with two adults getting intimate, Wen Li tries to convince him that they have underage fans. Finally, the director agrees to cut the last part. But Sun Yan wants to cut the whole scene, and his wife's backing him up on it. The guy's losing it, genuinely not understanding what's so wrong with his wife calling Sun Yan cute. The hero's stumped, not knowing how to argue against that point. Wen Li agrees that maybe there's really nothing wrong with the clip, and so he gives in. A couple days later, the heroine heads to a meeting with Mr. Q, and her assistant promises to pick her up after dinner. Right then, a new trailer for the show drops and immediately goes viral. Since the fans are asking what exactly the editors cut, the assistant starts to wonder too. After glancing at her husband, Wen Li tries to change the subject and shows them how good they look together. Sun Yan smiles, but he can't shake the director's question. What's the big deal about posting compliments from his wife online? Truth is, those words were actually amazing. He just wanted them to be for his ears only. Suddenly, Wen Li touches his face and says that director Yan wasn't wrong about him. There's nothing wrong with telling your wife she's cute in public. With that, she pulls Song Yan close and gently kisses him on the nose. Once they get to the restaurant, Wen Li is introduced to the screenwriter, Zhou. According to him, she's exactly how he pictured the real Wen Wen. As he seats Joe at the table, Chu tells everyone to relax, since this is just a casual dinner. Director Lao Yu joins them too, and he's super impressed with her performance in that scene from his movie. She points out that her husband deserves a lot of the credit, since she didn't have any experience with roles like that, and he took her under his wing. Director Wei shoots a sideways glance at Song Yan and grumbles that he still hasn't found the time to look at his script. Smiling, the actor insists that there's no way he'd ever ignore his script. Wei's still griping, but figures it's too late to blame Sun now. Before he got married, the dude was a total block of wood. Q chimes in, says it was no sweat for him. He's worked with bigger blocks of wood than that. But if Sun had even half the patience back then that he's got now with his wife, Jaren wouldn't have had such a hard time, and he wouldn't have had to ride their asses so much. Sun Yan notices Wen Li's expression suddenly change when she hears that. But then she smiles and says that Mr. Yu's comments must have worked, 'cause they ended up killing it. The producer suggests the director pair them up again, but he thinks what worked then might not work now. The guy keeps pushing, saying they could create a special project for Sun Yan and Tang to cash in on the nostalgia. But the director thinks remaking a classic isn't always the best move. She's barely holding it together listening to this, 'cause she can't even stand the thought of Tang being near her husband. Suddenly, she feels Sun Yan touch her, taking her hand and asking what's wrong. The girl says she's just a little nervous about the audition. Knowing there's more to it, Sun Yan asks what else is wrong. Letting go of his hand, she smiles and repeats that everything's fine. Unable to handle the tension any longer, Wen Li declares she urgently needs to use the restroom. The director approaches Sun Yan and asks if their conversation upset his wife. The man claims he thought the conversation tired her out, but he asked her, and everything was okay. Actually, although Sun Yan was afraid Wen Li would be upset, he was also a little bummed that she wasn't. Meanwhile, the heroine is splashing her face with water, trying to sort out her feelings. She doesn't mind the past at all, but her husband's jealousy of Ning Jun was totally different. If Lee had brought it up with Sun Yan, it would have embarrassed him, he'd have laughed it off, and it wouldn't have affected their relationship. Tang's situation is totally different though, because Yan's earliest and most heartfelt work was done specifically with her. She tells herself to get it together. She's an actress too. This shouldn't bother her. Sun Yan loves her, and it doesn't matter who he felt that way about before. Just then, someone calls out to her from behind. Turning around, she sees Director Yu, who's come to talk to her and tell her not to take the producer's words too hard. Li Wen tries to convince him that she's just worried about the casting, that's all. Laughing, the director says he sees how understanding she is. In that case, he suggests she head back to the table and turns to leave. But Wen Li suddenly stops him, having decided to ask him something. Even though it was a long time ago, she wants him to tell her about that movie from 10 years back. Smirking, the guy asks why she doesn't just ask Sun Yan about it directly. Wen Li smiles, admitting she feels awkward asking him these kinds of questions. So, if Mr. Yu doesn't mind, she'd like to know the details of Sun Yan and Miss Tang's relationship, because it's honestly been bugging her. According to the director, there was nothing going on between them. Sun was only interested in idol groups back then, and he even refused to be in the movie at first. But then, he suddenly came back out of the blue and asked if he could make a lot of money if he became an actor. Wen Li didn't know that Sun Yan was having money problems at the time. But just as the director's about to keep talking, Sun Yan walks into the room and he cuts the story short. Back at the table, the husband asks Li what they were talking about, and she says the topic was his checkered past. During dinner, the heroine makes a toast to everyone present, and not wanting to sound presumptuous, expresses her hope that she'll get the chance to work with them. She asks her esteemed mentors to look after her in the future and downs her glass. They offer her another drink, but as Li reaches for her glass, Sun Yan stops her, intending to take it for her. She whispers that she really wants this part and asks not to be helped because she wants to nail it on her own. Looking at Li Sun Yan's flushed face, it's clear she's already a little tipsy. But she figures if he starts drinking, he'll be a mess, but if she keeps going, they'll take pity on her and let her off easy. Besides, if Sun's hammered, he can't take care of her, so what good is he then? Raising her glass again, Wen Li declares that she's in charge of her husband tonight. The other guys laugh and ask Sun Yan what it's like being whipped. He just smiles and says, real quick, that he's loving it. As they're leaving, the directors tell Wen Li not to sweat the audition and just be herself. As Kyo walks away, Yu whispers that eye acting is super important to him, and since she'll be alone during the audition, he tells her to picture someone she loves. Or hates. He tells her to pour her heart out and not try to fool Chu with tricks, 'cause he's the one who taught Yan those tricks way back when. With that, Director Yu scrambles to the car where his old buddy's already waiting. Assistant Wenli hops out of the car and offers to help Mr. Sun. Just then, the heroine Wenya's uncle, Wen Yan, calls out from behind asking his son-in-law for a minute. Sun Yan tells his assistant to wait for him in the car. Wen Yan wants to know how he's taking care of his niece when she stumbles out of the restaurant totally wasted, while her husband's perfectly fine. Sun replies that Lee didn't want him to drink, but her uncle clearly wouldn't get it since he's never been there for her. The guy asks why he's suddenly acting all high and mighty, and if he expects him to congratulate him on winning over some old-fashioned meddler like himself. But Sun Yan doesn't need his congratulations, and asks him to let him go if he has nothing else to say. Scoffing, Wen Yan reminds him that his father paid for the guy's education in memory of his friendship with his father, and he repaid him by stealing his granddaughter. Suddenly, a drunk Wen Li tumbles out of the car and, hugging her husband, asks why he's gossiping with some random dude instead of taking care of her. Seeing it was her uncle, the girl asks if he's hitting on her husband because he's still single at his age. Threatening to call the cops if he tries to mess with her, she grabs Sun Yan's hand, sticks her tongue out at her uncle, and hops in the car. On the way home, she keeps hugging her husband and asks why he went off to talk instead of taking care of her. Then the girl's face suddenly changes and she asks Sun Yan about his relationship with Tang Zhangren. Looking him straight in the eye, she admits that she's jealous. But, she says, there's a reason for it, because she actually likes him, otherwise she wouldn't be jealous. Hugging his wife, Sun Yan replies that he totally gets it, of course. Wen Li wonders why, in that case, he's making her mad and demands that he shape up and comfort her, ASAP. He obediently agrees to comfort his wife and raises the divider in the car, much to the delight of the assistants in the front seats. Even though Sun Yan is holding his wife tight, it's not enough to comfort her. Wen Li reaches for him, wanting more, and they kiss. The director orders the inside cameras turned on, but the operator tells him that Song Yan disabled them as soon as they got home. After laying Wen Li on the couch, her husband hands her a glass of water and confirms that he turned off the cameras. Grabbing his jacket, she asks him to sit down next to her. Song Yan asks her how she's feeling, but she insists her face is just flushed because it's hot. He gets up to turn on the AC, but she grabs him again and pulls him close. Pushing her husband onto the couch and hovering over him, she asks if he's really that clueless. Kissing him on the forehead, Lee explains that her heart is on fire around him, and the temperature has nothing to do with it. Song Yan asks her to be clearer, and Wen wonders what he didn't understand about what she said. She says she's being perfectly clear, since it's exactly what's on her mind. She's wanted to tell him for ages that every time she looks at him, her heart races. She's fine acting with other guys on camera, but when he was her partner, Lee was shamelessly fantasizing that his character was confessing his feelings to her. He's making her lose her edge, and if they have to act together again, Wen doesn't know how she'll manage. Sun Yan strokes his wife's face and offers to drop the role himself for the sake of her career. But Lee refuses. It's an amazing script and she wants to be in this movie with him. Sun Yan admits he wasn't being professional either, because he wasn't acting back then. He was confessing his feelings to her under the guise of the role. Scowling playfully, she says she knew it all along, and adds that in her competition with Tang for this role, he has to be firmly on her side. He agrees, and Lee gives him a big kiss on the cheek, calling him a good boy and admitting how much she likes him. Sun Yan laughs and asks her to say it again. She hugs him tight and repeats those words over and over. Sun Yan offers to help his wife get comfortable, while she starts telling him about her conversation with Mr. Yu. She said the director told her he was strapped for cash back then. Lee's asking why he didn't borrow from her, then remembers Sun hated her guts and would have hit up Bo Sane for a loan first. Suddenly wailing on her husband, she demands to know why he hated her and what was wrong with his taste, 'cause she was hot stuff getting asked out twice a week. Suddenly, Lee gets this crazy idea that Sun might be into dudes and married her as a cover. Girl's amazed by her own charm, that she could set him straight again. Sun Yan swears to Lee he's always been a straight shooter. She huffs, saying she honestly doesn't care if he liked her back in school or not. But Sun Yan reminds her that she was the one who couldn't have given a damn about him back then. When Lee turns around to say that's totally not how it went down. She hugs him, admitting he mattered to her, and Sun Yan replies that even if that weren't true, he still had a thing for her. She stares at him, totally not believing what he's saying. Looking right into her eyes, he confesses he couldn't help but love her, but he just never had the guts to say it. Holding him close and kissing his neck, Wen-li tells him none of that matters anymore, because now he can love her. The next morning, she wakes up and her whole body is screaming. She sits down at the table, and Sun-yan slides a glass of water over to her. Then he sits across from her, giving her this look that just makes her squirm. Hiding behind her glass, she claims she doesn't remember anything from last night. No matter what Sun-yan says, she's decided to deny everything. But to her surprise, her husband slides his phone across the table and tells her to take a look. He suggests she go check the recording in the bathroom since there aren't any cameras in there. So Sun gets in front of the camera, flashing a smile and wishing everyone a good morning, while the director's losing it, trying to figure out what his wife's watching in the bathroom. Turns out she totally remembers last night, and watching this video is just making everything click into place. Sun-yan tucked her into bed and she told him she was beat and wanted to crash. But her husband asked her to answer one question first. Sun-yan asked again if she liked him, and she playfully slapped his face, repeating it one more time. He wanted her to say it straight out, and Lee, looking him right in the eye, repeated that she liked him a whole lot. Sun-yan was about to hit the hay too, but she hit him with the same question. And then, getting down on one knee and gently caressing her face, he confessed that he loved her. Drunk Wen started complaining that it wasn't fair, because like had more syllables than love. And when Sun-yan said that he should be the one offended, she suddenly announced that she loved him too from now on, and would love him forever, and was even gonna sing about it. So now, listening to this awful song, the poor woman just wants to crawl into a hole and die of embarrassment. Stepping out of the bathroom, she overhears director Yan offering to buy the recording of Wen-li's incident from Song Yan. Saying that stuff's not fit for public consumption, the guy hangs up. Approaching Lee, Song-yan asks if she's seen the video, and she sheepishly admits she has. He asks if she's still gonna try and deny it then, and this time she shakes her head no. Director Yan's eyeing Song's phone with such longing that his co-worker has to remind him stealing is still a crime. The guy knows, but even without the evidence, nobody can stop them from talking about what happened, so he tells the editor to cut a trailer exactly how he says. And before long, a trailer drops online, opening with Song-yan helping his plastered wife onto the couch. After that, he walks up to the camera and shuts it off. The screen goes black, and the production crew puts up a message apologizing to the viewers. Next scene in the trailer, it's morning, and the couple sits down at the table with Wen-li claiming she doesn't remember anything. Sun-yan hands her his phone and suggests she watch the video from the bathroom, where there are no cameras. Then there's more text saying the director asked for the recording, but Mr. Sun refused, claiming that content was strictly private. The video editor is stoked about how popular their clip has become. Meanwhile, the assistant suggests Wen-li get some rest early tonight since her schedule is packed with acting lessons to prep for auditions. Getting out of the car, the girl wonders what was on Mr. Sun's phone. That question comes out of nowhere, and our girl's like, "Why are you suddenly bringing that up?" The assistant tells Wen-li they're trending again and